What if I told you that every night, when you lay your head on your pillow, you are not simply ending another day. You are stepping into the most powerful manifestation chamber known to humanity. While your body rests, your subconscious mind becomes a sacred workshop, a divine temple, where miracles are not just possible, they are inevitable. Take a breath and feel the truth of this. You are not entering ordinary sleep tonight. You are entering an appointment with Spirit, an appointment written in eternity, a sacred meeting where the gates of wealth swing open wide, and divine provision flows freely without a single obstruction. Have you ever experienced this? You went to bed worried about money, anxious about bills, unsure about tomorrow. Yet you woke up with an inexplicable sense of peace. Or you opened your inbox to find an unexpected opportunity waiting for you. This is not coincidence. This is spiritual law in motion. When your conscious mind finally quiets its endless chatter of fear and limitation, your subconscious mind becomes what I call the divine receiver. It is open, it is receptive, and it is perfectly aligned with the frequency of abundance that governs the entire universe. Most people think sleep is merely a biological necessity, a time for the body to recharge. But listen closely. Sleep is not just rest. It is your most sacred appointment with wealth itself. Not the kind of wealth that comes through grinding and striving, but the effortless abundance that flows when you align with spiritual law. Tonight, I am going to take you deeper. You will discover how ancient wisdom and modern science meet to unlock overnight manifestation. You will see how simple affirmations, spoken in faith and whispered into your subconscious as you sleep, can rewrite your financial destiny at its very core. This is about transforming not just your bank account, but your entire relationship with money, prosperity, and your divine worth. Understand this: your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is imagined and what is real. It only knows what it receives. And when your conscious mind steps aside in deep sleep, when your doubts are silenced and your spirit becomes still, your subconscious accepts every impression, every affirmation, every image of wealth as truth. In this sacred space, wealth consciousness is not learned, it is installed. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this over a century ago. She taught that your words are commands of spiritual law, and that your sleeping hours are holy hours of divine programming. While the world sleeps, your spirit is at work, calling forth supply, opening doors, and preparing your steps. I want you to stay with me until the end of this journey, because what I'm about to share has the power to transform not just your sleep, but your entire life. You are about to enter the sacred mechanics of overnight abundance, where every affirmation becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of infinite possibility. And I want you to remember something as you hear these words. You didn't stumble here by accident. This is a divine appointment. You were guided to this message because your soul is ready for this shift. Every delay you have experienced, every financial struggle you have endured, was preparing you for this moment of awakening. Spirit has not withheld anything from you. Your good is not far off in some distant future. It already exists in divine mind. It is already carrying your name. It is already vibrating toward you, waiting only for your recognition. So tonight, as you prepare for rest, as you allow my words to carry you into that deep and holy stillness, you will learn how to release worry and enter into a flow of abundance that has been waiting for you all along. We are about to step into the workshop of your subconscious mind and open the doors to a life of overflow. Now that you've settled into this moment, let me reveal a truth most people never discover in their lifetime. Beneath all the noise, beneath the bills and bank statements, beneath the fear of not enough, there flows what I call the golden river of prosperity. This river is not a metaphor, it is a spiritual reality, an eternal current of supply that has been flowing since before you were born, carrying every blessing, every opportunity, every resource you will ever need. Picture it now. Deep beneath the surface of your life, far below the worries that occupy your mind, this golden river is flowing without interruption. It is steady, abundant, and inexhaustible. It does not dry up in times of scarcity. It does not shrink because of the economy. It has not once slowed down because of your fear. This river is divine supply in motion. It has been there since the moment you took your first breath, waiting for your recognition. Yet most people live their entire lives unaware of it. They walk on dry ground, convinced they must struggle and strive, while just beneath their feet, a current of infinite wealth is waiting for their faith to unlock it. I want you to see something tonight. When you close your eyes and surrender to the quiet, this river begins to rise. It begins to surface into your awareness, and you start to realize abundance is not something you create, chase, or beg for. It is something you awaken to. Sleep is one of the most powerful times to awaken to this truth. While your conscious mind rests, your subconscious is free to connect with this flow. It is drawn naturally to the frequency of wealth, like a compass finding true north. That's why so many people wake up with sudden clarity, inspired ideas, or unexpected peace. It is because their spirit was drinking from this golden river while they slept. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this mystery well. She often spoke of a hidden pattern, a divine design, that governs our supply. She taught that when we align our thoughts and words with spiritual law, this pattern reveals itself. She knew that faith is the key that opens the gates to this river. And tonight, as you listen to these words, you are aligning yourself with that same pattern. The very act of hearing these truths is softening your resistance, clearing the mental clutter, and allowing the current of abundance to flow freely into your life. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of this river now. See its waters shimmering with golden light. Hear its steady, rushing sound. This river carries solutions you've been praying for. It carries financial breakthroughs, creative inspiration, divine ideas, and blessings beyond your understanding. The only thing that has kept you from it is the illusion of separation. Scarcity has no power here. Fear has no voice. Lack is nothing more than a shadow, and shadows disappear when light shines upon them. Tonight, we are shining light on every shadow of fear and replacing it with truth. I want you to breathe deeply and allow this vision to sink in. You are not standing outside the gates of provision. You are already in the flow. The river of wealth is not out there, waiting for some distant future moment. It is within you, flowing through your very consciousness, responding to your faith. In the stillness of your sleep, this river becomes more accessible than ever. Your mind, free from its constant worrying, becomes like a sponge, absorbing divine truth. Each affirmation you hear tonight plants seeds in this fertile soil. Each word of truth you receive strengthens your connection to this current. Spirit does not operate through struggle. It operates through harmony. Just as rivers carve valleys and nourish lands without effort, abundance is meant to flow effortlessly in your life. It does not need your stress or striving. It only needs your recognition. Right now, I want you to declare in your heart, I step into the river of abundance. I trust its flow. I know my supply is endless and already mine by divine right. Feel the power of that declaration. Let it echo through your being. This is not a prayer of desperation. It is a statement of truth. Florence Scovel Shinn taught, nothing stands between man and his highest ideals, and every desire of his heart but doubt and fear. Tonight, we release doubt, we release fear, and we step into this river fully, knowing we are supported, guided, and provided for. As you drift deeper into relaxation, imagine this river washing away old beliefs, those tired thoughts of limitation, those inherited fears about money, those heavy emotions that have weighed you down. See them dissolve into the current, carried away forever. Now picture yourself being carried by this river. No more striving, no more paddling against the current. You are being carried by divine intelligence itself, and it knows exactly where you need to go. This is the secret the wealthy understand, whether they realize it or not. They are not forcing wealth, they are aligning with a flow that already exists. Tonight, you are learning to do the same. And as you rest, this golden current is already rearranging your reality, drawing to you opportunities, relationships, and resources in perfect timing. Breathe deeply, relax fully. You are safe in the river of abundance. It has always been flowing, and it will never stop. Close your eyes now and see yourself being carried gently by that golden river of abundance we spoke of. It moves effortlessly, without force, without struggle. And as you drift deeper into this vision, you notice something extraordinary appearing ahead of you, a great and radiant doorway, unlike anything you have ever seen. This is not a door built by human hands. This is the celestial doorway of supply, a threshold between the world you have known and the realm of divine provision that has been waiting for you all along. It glows with a light that is alive, golden, pure, and warm, radiating a presence that feels both majestic and deeply personal. You sense it knows you. It has been waiting for this very moment, for you to step forward in faith and claim what has always been yours. You pause for a moment, breathing deeply, letting this vision settle in your spirit. You feel the warmth of this light on your face, on your hands, on your heart. And something deep within you whispers, "This is your time." A Florence Scovel Shinn often said, "Nothing stands between man and his highest ideals but doubt and fear." And here, before this door, you realize how true that is. For years, you may have believed that money was hard to come by, that success was for other people, that your dreams were too bold. You may have carried guilt over wanting more or shame over not having enough. These thoughts are illusions, and tonight, they dissolve like mist in the light of this doorway. Spirit is inviting you to see abundance not as something you chase, but as a divine inheritance already written in your soul. This doorway is proof. You were never locked out of your own good. You only needed the faith to step forward. Take a slow breath now and imagine yourself walking closer. As you approach, the details become clearer. The door is adorned with jewels, each one representing a blessing that has been prepared for you: health, joy, purpose, financial freedom, spiritual peace. The entire frame is alive with energy. It hums softly, like the rhythm of creation itself. You raise your hand to touch it. The moment your fingertips graze its surface, a warmth flows through your entire being, washing over you like liquid light. This is the love of spirit embracing you, reminding you that you are chosen, beloved, and supported. Behind this doorway lies the life you were meant to live, not a life of striving, fear, or lack, but a life of overflowing abundance. And as you stand there, Florence's timeless words echo in your heart. Your supply is endless, inexhaustible, and immediate. The doors of supply swing wide open in divine timing. This is that moment. The door begins to move. Slowly, effortlessly, it swings open with a sound like a gentle breeze, and beyond it, you see a sight so beautiful it takes your breath away. There are golden fields stretching into eternity, shimmering rivers of light, and pathways lined with opportunities waiting for you to step into them. It feels like home. It feels like destiny. But more than that, you feel a knowing. This isn't a fantasy or a dream. This is truth. This is the reality that has always existed in spirit. The world you've known, with its struggles and limitations, was only a shadow of this greater truth. And tonight, as you sleep, this truth is imprinting itself on your subconscious, rewriting your inner blueprint for wealth and success. Now imagine stepping through this doorway. As you cross the threshold, you feel something lift off you, old fears, doubts, and limitations falling away like heavy garments you no longer need. You are lighter now, you are free. In this sacred space, your thoughts are powerful, your words are law, and your faith is the key that unlocks every blessing. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that faith knows it has already received and acts accordingly. In this realm, you don't have to convince spirit of your worthiness. You only have to recognize that your good is already finished in divine mind. Take a deep breath and say silently to yourself, "I receive all that is mine by divine right. It comes to me now, under grace, in perfect ways." Feel the power of those words vibrating through your entire being. Your subconscious mind is receiving this truth like fertile soil receiving precious seeds. As you walk deeper into this vision, you notice something remarkable. Doors upon doors lining a grand hallway, each one glowing softly, waiting to be opened. Some are marked health, some wealth, some relationships, and others purpose, joy, creativity, peace. You realize that abundance is not just financial, it touches every area of your life. Spirit does not want you to merely survive. Spirit wants you to thrive, to live fully, to express your divine nature in every detail of your existence. Pause now and rest in this awareness. Breathe deeply, slowly, letting this truth anchor itself in your heart. There is no limit to the supply available to you. There is no shortage in divine mind. The universe is not stingy or selective. It is generous beyond comprehension, and that generosity flows toward you now. Florence wrote, "Man cannot force anything to manifest. He can only impress upon his subconscious mind that which he desires, and it will be made manifest in his life." That's exactly what you are doing tonight. You are impressing this truth deeply into your subconscious. You are saying goodbye to the old mental patterns of lack and limitation, and you are embracing the reality that abundance is your natural state. Picture yourself now standing in front of one of those glowing doors marked wealth. As you place your hand upon it, you feel that same warmth radiating through you. You speak quietly but firmly, "Infinite Spirit, open the way for my wealth. Let it come to me easily and effortlessly, in perfect ways, under grace." The door opens, and what you see is breathtaking rivers of gold flowing endlessly, treasure chests filled not just with money, but with opportunities, connections, and blessings beyond measure. It feels like stepping into a room designed specifically for you, with everything you have ever needed waiting patiently for your arrival. Take a moment to walk through this vision. Let yourself see the details clearly. See yourself with the resources you desire, not as a distant goal, but as a present reality. See yourself living with ease, giving generously, blessing others, and walking in joy. This vision is not fantasy. It is spirit showing you a glimpse of what is already yours. The key is faith. Florence Scovel Shinn often said, "Faith is expectancy." You must expect your good before you receive it. Tonight, as you sleep, your subconscious is being trained to expect abundance, to see wealth not as a possibility but as a certainty. Now imagine turning to another door, this one marked peace. As you open it, a wave of serenity washes over you. You see yourself free from worry and fear, resting in the truth that spirit handles all things perfectly. You realize that peace is wealth. Joy is wealth. Health is wealth. Money is only one form of this abundance, and tonight, you are claiming all of it. Breathe deeply and rest in this awareness. You are not outside the flow of good. You are standing in the center of it. The same power that created worlds is working through you and for you. As you take in this vision, you feel a deep shift happening in your spirit. Old beliefs are dissolving. Scarcity is losing its grip. And something new is taking root: confidence, faith, and a knowing that nothing can stand between you and your good. Pause here and declare silently, "I am aligned with divine supply. Every door I need is opening now. Every obstacle is dissolving now. My wealth, health, and happiness are assured by divine law." As these words echo through your mind, feel yourself becoming lighter. Feel yourself walking confidently through these celestial doors, fully aware that this vision is already unfolding in your life. The universe is not distant, it is responding to your faith now. This is your turning point. Tonight, your subconscious mind is absorbing this truth like a seed planted in perfect soil. This doorway you've stepped through is not imaginary. It is the spiritual reality that will soon express itself in your physical world. Rest in this vision as you prepare for deeper revelation. You are no longer a seeker of abundance. You are a receiver. You are a magnet. And tonight, you are walking boldly through every door spirit has prepared for you. You have walked through the celestial doorway now. You have seen the rivers of gold, the treasures prepared for you, the doors of peace and wealth and joy standing open. And as you take another slow, deep breath, the vision begins to shift. The radiant doorway fades behind you, and you now find yourself standing in a vast and beautiful garden. This is no ordinary garden. This is the inner garden of your soul, a sacred space cultivated by divine intelligence itself. Everything here represents the thoughts, beliefs, and words that have taken root in your subconscious mind. And tonight, under the soft silver glow of divine moonlight, this garden is being transformed. Look around you. You see pathways lined with luminous flowers, their petals glowing gently in the moonlight. You hear the soft whisper of a breeze moving through trees heavy with fruit. Each tree represents blessings already ripening in your life. Opportunities, health, wealth, relationships, creativity. Some fruits are ready to be picked, and others are still growing, hidden under leaves, preparing in divine timing. The atmosphere in this garden is pure peace. You feel safe here, deeply loved and completely cared for. There is no rush, no pressure, no striving. Everything in this space operates according to perfect spiritual law. Just as a tree does not struggle to bear fruit, but produces naturally in its season, so too are your blessings growing here without effort. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, "There is a supply for every demand. Faith brings it into visibility." This garden is proof of that truth. Every good thing you have ever desired exists here, waiting to be brought into physical form. And as you stand in this sacred space tonight, you realize you are not alone. Look closely now. You see gentle figures moving through this garden. They are not human gardeners, but angelic helpers. Divine messengers of spirit. They move gracefully, almost as if they glide, tending to every detail of this place. They are planting seeds of truth, watering them with faith, and removing weeds of fear and doubt. Watch as one of them kneels by a small plant, a tender shoot that represents a dream you've recently dared to believe in. The angel touches the soil, and instantly the plant grows taller, stronger, glowing with divine vitality. Another angel walks by a tree that seems to have stopped bearing fruit. With a simple wave of light, the tree bursts with blossoms, promising a new season of abundance. You realize something profound. Spirit has been tending this garden your entire life, even when you were unaware. Your prayers, your affirmations, your faith-filled words have been planting seeds here. And tonight, in this deep and restful sleep, your subconscious is opening fully to receive divine care. The weeds of fear and limitation are being removed at their roots. The plants of hope and faith are being nourished like never before. Pause and breathe deeply. Let this truth settle in. You do not have to force your blessings to grow. You do not have to strive, beg, or plead. Your only task is to keep your heart open, to speak truth, and to trust the perfect timing of spirit. Just as a seed contains the blueprint for a mighty tree, so too does your subconscious already carry the blueprint for your abundance. Florence said, "A man can only receive what he sees himself receiving." In this moment, see yourself as already prosperous, already healthy, already joyful. Imagine this garden flourishing because of your faith, expanding with every positive word you speak, glowing brighter with every affirmation of truth. Now imagine walking along one of the paths. The moonlight grows brighter with every step, illuminating everything it touches. You notice a patch of ground ahead that looks dry and barren. For a moment, you feel a pang of sadness. This represents an area of your life where you've felt lack or delay. Perhaps it's a financial goal that seems far away, or a relationship that hasn't yet manifested, or a dream you've put aside. But then, one of the angelic gardeners appears, carrying a glowing golden watering vessel. They pour light upon the soil, and immediately it transforms. What was once dry begins to sparkle with moisture. Green shoots emerge instantly, blooming into vibrant flowers that fill the air with fragrance. You realize this barren space was never truly dead. It was simply waiting for divine timing and your faith to activate its growth. Take a moment to kneel in this space and place your hand on the ground. Feel the warmth rising from it, the hum of life ready to burst forth. Say silently, "I bless this area of my life. I release doubt, and I trust Spirit's timing. All things are working together for my good." As you speak these words, more angels appear, tending to other areas of your garden. They are working tirelessly to ensure every part of your life flourishes. Health, wealth, creativity, relationships, opportunities. Nothing is left untouched. The divine gardeners are reordering everything according to perfect law. You continue walking, and you come upon a magnificent fountain at the center of the garden. Its waters glow with golden light, and as you step closer, you see that it is fed directly from the same golden river of prosperity we spoke of earlier. The river flows underground, feeding this fountain, and from here, its waters spread through every part of your inner garden. This fountain represents your direct connection to Spirit, the source of all supply. You realize now that you are never cut off from your good, no matter how things may appear. The fountain flows endlessly, just as Spirit's provision flows endlessly into your life. Florence Scovel Shinn often said, "When man knows there is a supply for every demand, and that every right desire is already on its way, he will feel as though he already has it." Standing before this fountain, you feel that truth deeply. You know that your blessings are not on the way. They already exist, and they are being delivered to you in divine order. Reach out now and place your hand in the water. Feel its warmth and power flowing through you. Imagine that as you do, every cell of your body is being filled with faith, peace, and certainty. Your mind is being rewired to expect only good. Your subconscious is drinking deeply from this fountain, washing away old patterns of lack and replacing them with unshakable confidence in divine supply. Now, take a seat on a bench nearby and rest in this vision. The moonlight above is brighter now, casting a gentle glow over the entire garden. You see angels moving gracefully through the paths, tending to every detail with love and care. You watch as they plant seeds of new opportunities, prune away branches of fear, and whisper affirmations into the air that echo softly in your mind. Listen closely, and you'll hear their words. You are provided for. You are loved. You are abundant. Everything you need is already prepared. Let those words sink deep into your spirit. Feel your shoulders relax, your breath deepen, and your entire being settle into a state of trust. This is what true manifestation feels like. Not strain, not force, but a gentle alignment with divine rhythm. Just as the seasons unfold perfectly, so too will your blessings manifest in the perfect moment. The garden reminds you that Spirit is always working behind the scenes, even when you see no evidence yet. As you close your eyes in this vision, imagine every corner of your inner garden glowing brighter. Imagine every seed planted in faith beginning to sprout. Picture your subconscious mind as fertile soil, ready to receive every good word, every truth, every affirmation. Say silently to yourself, "I am the keeper of this garden, and Spirit is the gardener. I release fear. I release doubt. I allow divine abundance to flourish in every part of my life." Stay with this feeling for a moment. Breathe deeply and see golden light pouring from the fountain into every path, every plant, every tree. Watch as the moonlight becomes brighter, representing the illumination of Spirit's truth in your life. You realize that this is not just a visualization. This is a spiritual reality. This is the garden of your mind, and tonight, through faith, it is being transformed. Old beliefs are being uprooted. New truths are being planted. And soon, these inner changes will manifest as visible blessings in your life. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, "Your word is your wand. The words you speak create your world." This garden shows you the results of your words, your thoughts, your prayers. And now, with Spirit as your gardener, you are speaking life over every seed, calling forth your good from the unseen into the seen. Sit here for a while, resting in the peace of this truth. The angels continue their work silently. The fountain continues to flow endlessly, and above you, the divine moonlight shines, reminding you that Spirit is always watching over you, always guiding you, always bringing you closer to the fullness of your destiny. Breathe deeply, and let this image settle in your subconscious. You are no longer a prisoner of fear or limitation. You are a co-creator with Spirit, and your garden is flourishing even now. When you wake tomorrow, you may not see all the results yet, but something deep within you will know. The work has been done, the seeds have been planted, and your harvest is assured. You have walked through the celestial doorway. You have wandered the garden under divine moonlight. And now, Spirit leads you even deeper, to the very heart of this heavenly realm. You follow a path lined with glowing stones, and with every step, the air feels lighter, charged with holiness. Ahead of you, there is a radiant light unlike any you have seen, a light that doesn't just shine, but seems to call to you by name. This is not just a place of beauty. This is the holy throne of infinite Spirit, the seat of all wisdom, the source of all abundance, the dwelling place of pure divine power. As you approach, you notice the path widening into a vast chamber. The ground beneath your feet is smooth, shining as if it were crystal, and above you stretches a sky so full of stars. It feels as if all of heaven has gathered to witness your arrival. You can feel their silent encouragement, a reminder that you have never been alone, not for one moment. At the center of this chamber stands the throne, a structure of indescribable majesty, glowing with a golden light that radiates waves of love. It is not intimidating but inviting, like a father's open arms or a mother's warm embrace. The very sight of it makes tears come to your eyes, not of fear, but of relief, as if your soul has found its true home. Take a breath and pause here. This is the place you've been seeking all your life, whether you knew it or not. The throne of infinite spirit is not far away in some unreachable heaven. It has always been within you, waiting for you to enter boldly and sit in the presence of the divine. Florence Scovel Shinn taught, there is a place that you can go, deep within, where nothing and no one can touch you. This is the secret place of the Most High. This throne is that place. Here, lack does not exist. Fear has no voice. Here, every question is answered, every burden lifted, every desire already fulfilled. You feel a gentle invitation to step closer. As you walk forward, you feel the heaviness of your earthly struggles fall away. Old beliefs, painful memories, and fears that clung to you for years drop to the ground like old garments, and you step forward lighter, freer, stronger. When you reach the throne, you notice something extraordinary. There is a chair at its foot, a seat that has been waiting for you. Your name is engraved upon it, not the name the world calls you, but the true name Spirit has known since before you were born, the name that carries your divine purpose and infinite worth. Take your seat now. As you sit before the throne, waves of peace pour over you like warm sunlight. It feels as if the entire universe is resting its blessing upon your shoulders. This is where heaven and earth meet, where Spirit speaks directly to your soul. Close your eyes and listen. You hear no words at first, only a soft hum, the sound of the universe in perfect harmony. The longer you listen, the more you realize this hum is not outside you, it is inside you. It is the vibration of your own spirit, perfectly aligned with the divine. And then, slowly, words begin to form, not in a human voice, but as a knowing that echoes through every fiber of your being. You are mine, you are safe, you are supplied, you are loved. Breathe those words in as if they were air. Let them wash over you, let them sink deep into your subconscious. Feel your heart soften, your body relax, and your mind grow still. This is truth. You were never meant to carry the burdens you've been carrying. Spirit has always been the source of your supply, and here, before the throne, you finally remember, Florence said. When man aligns with the law of God, nothing can be withheld from him. Sitting here, you feel that law working through you now. Every wall, every obstacle, every locked door in your life begins to dissolve. Spirit is not withholding anything. It is only your faith, your expectancy, your alignment that unlocks what has been waiting for you all along. Take a deep breath, and with your eyes still closed, imagine placing every burden you've been carrying at the foot of this throne. Picture yourself gathering up every fear, every worry, every debt, every thought of lack or limitation. See yourself carrying them in your arms, heavy at first, and then, one by one, laying them down before Spirit. You do not need to explain them, justify them, or fix them. You simply release them, saying silently, I cast this burden on the Christ within, and I go free. As you say these words, something miraculous happens. A flame of golden light appears at the base of the throne, and every burden you've laid down is consumed in this holy fire. Not destroyed, but transformed. Each debt becomes an opportunity for increase. Each worry becomes a stepping stone to peace. Each obstacle becomes a bridge to your blessing. You feel lighter with every release, and as your arms become empty, something beautiful begins to happen. They are filled with gifts. Spirit places in your hands blessings that have been waiting for you. Wisdom, strength, provision, and ideas divinely inspired to carry you forward. Pause for a moment and feel this shift. You are no longer begging or striving. You are receiving. You are seated in your rightful place as a child of Spirit, a co-creator with God. Now imagine the throne glowing brighter, filling the entire chamber with light. This is the light of divine truth. It reveals the reality that has always been, that lack is an illusion, that abundance is your birthright, and that nothing and no one can separate you from the love and provision of Spirit. You feel your subconscious mind drinking this truth like water. Old programming is dissolving, old fears are evaporating, and a new blueprint of abundance is being written into your very soul. Florence wrote, "Change your thoughts, and in doing so, you change your destiny." That is what is happening right now. As you sit before the throne, your destiny is being rewritten. See yourself now lifting your head and meeting the gaze of infinite spirit. It feels like looking into the heart of eternity. Endless wisdom, endless power, endless love. Spirit speaks again, not in words, but in a deep knowing that reverberates through you. All that is mine is yours. All that belongs to me belongs to you. You are heir to the kingdom, and the kingdom is within you. These words settle into your spirit with absolute authority. You are not separate from abundance. You are abundance, because you are one with the source of all things. Take another deep breath and let yourself rest in this truth. Here, in this sacred place, you don't have to struggle for your good. You don't have to chase opportunities. You don't have to prove your worth. Spirit has already declared you worthy, already prepared the way, already filled your storehouses. Florence often said, "Faith without fear is the key to every door." Picture yourself holding that key now. It is glowing in your hand, and it opens not just one door, but every door you could ever need. With this key, you walk boldly into your destiny. With this key, you access wealth, wisdom, health, joy, and peace. With this key, you align with the divine plan for your life, a plan that is perfect, loving, and overflowing with provision. Now imagine Spirit rising from the throne, standing before you with outstretched hands. In one hand is a crown of light, in the other, a robe of glory. Spirit places the crown upon your head, and instantly, your mind is filled with divine wisdom. Spirit wraps the robe around your shoulders, and you feel a warmth, a power, and a dignity that you may have forgotten but now remember. You are royalty in the kingdom of God. The throne room is now filled with angelic music, a sound that is not played by instruments, but sung by the very vibration of creation itself. The stars above shine brighter, and you feel as if heaven itself is celebrating your awakening. Pause and absorb this moment. You are seated in heavenly places. You are clothed in glory. You are crowned with wisdom. You are empowered to speak words of truth that carry the authority of Spirit itself. Take a deep breath and silently repeat after me. I am one with infinite Spirit. I am a child of God. I am rich, I am strong, I am fearless. I walk in divine supply and nothing is withheld from me. My good comes to me now under grace, in perfect ways. Let these words echo within you. See them written in golden letters across the walls of this throne room. Feel them etching themselves into your subconscious mind, rewriting your inner beliefs forever. Here, there is no doubt, no fear, no uncertainty. There is only truth. And that truth is that Spirit has already prepared every blessing you desire, already orchestrated every connection, already provided for every need. Your only task is to believe, to receive, and to walk boldly in faith. Florence said, "Your word is your wand. From this throne, your words carry power. Speak life over your finances. Speak health over your body. Speak peace over your home. Every word you speak in alignment with Spirit becomes law, and Spirit backs every decree with divine authority." Pause again and let this truth settle deeply. You are not asking for blessings. You are authorizing them. You are not hoping for provision. You are activating it. And as you sit here tonight, the gates of divine supply are swinging open wider than ever before. Take one more deep breath and look around this chamber one last time. The light has grown even brighter, filling every corner with warmth and peace. The throne is not just in this vision, it is within you. You can return here anytime you choose, for this is your place of power. As you rise from your seat and prepare to leave the throne room, you feel transformed. Your steps are lighter, your heart is steadier, and your spirit is filled with unshakable confidence. You know now that the same Spirit who created galaxies lives within you, guiding every decision, opening every door, and pouring out blessings in perfect ways. You turn back for a moment and see the throne glowing even brighter, as if to say, "Remember, I am always here. You are always welcome." With this assurance, you step out of the throne room, carrying its power, its peace, and its promise with you. Tonight, as you sleep, this vision will continue to work in your subconscious, rewriting every limiting belief and filling your soul with divine truth. You will wake tomorrow not only renewed but transformed. For you have seen the throne of infinite spirit, and nothing will ever be the same again. You step out of the throne room, carrying its glory, its peace, and its power with you. But as you walk, Spirit begins to show you something important. To fully enter into this life of abundance, you must first let go. Release is not a suggestion, it is a spiritual law. Florence Scovel Shinn called it the perfect law of release, and it is one of the most powerful secrets of manifestation. Release is not loss. Release is not weakness. Release is power. For when you let go, you make space for God to work in ways your mind could never imagine. Pause and take a breath here. Feel the Spirit's presence as you listen to these words. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. This is not just a verse. It is an invitation. Spirit is asking you to put down every heavy thing you've been carrying, every worry you've been rehearsing, every story of lack you've been telling yourself. For as long as you clutch them tightly, your hands are too full to receive your blessings. Imagine yourself now standing in a quiet meadow. The air is crisp, the sky painted in hues of twilight purple and gold. Before you stands a large wooden chest, old, sturdy, and wide open. This is your chest of release. Spirit invites you to take everything weighing on your heart and place it here, one by one. Start with your fears. Picture them in your mind. Every fear about your finances, your family, your health, your future. See them as objects you can hold in your hands. Feel their weight. And now, slowly, gently, place them in the chest. Hear the sound as they land at the bottom. Let them go. Take a deep breath. Do you feel lighter? Spirit whispers, you do not have to carry this anymore. Now, gather up your regrets. All the moments you've replayed in your mind, all the what-ifs and if-onlys that haunt your nights. Pick them up and put them in the chest. They are no longer yours to hold. The past is done. Spirit is ready to transform those regrets into wisdom, those mistakes into stepping stones. Next, place your debts, your bills, your obligations into the chest. See each envelope, each number, each looming due date, and put it down. For Florence said, fear is only inverted faith. It is faith in evil instead of good. By releasing these fears, you are choosing faith in Spirit's provision. Finally, place your self-doubt in the chest. Every thought that says, I'm not worthy. Every whisper that tells you, I'm not ready. Every voice of limitation, release them. Spirit is your worthiness. Spirit is your readiness. Spirit is your provision. You no longer have to earn love or abundance. You only have to receive it. As you place the last burden into the chest, imagine closing the lid. A golden light appears, sealing it shut. And then, in a miraculous flash, the entire chest lifts off the ground and vanishes into the heavens, carried away by angels. You will never see these burdens again, because they have been given to Spirit, and what you give to Spirit is always transformed. Take another deep breath and feel the weight lifting off your shoulders. Your back is straight, your heart is open, your hands are free. For the first time in a long time you feel light, truly light. Florence wrote, when man knows his own powers, and that every man is a golden link in the chain of his good, he is not afraid of losing anything. This is the secret. What is truly yours cannot be lost. What belongs to you by divine right will always return, often multiplied. So why hold so tightly to burdens, relationships, or fears that were never yours to carry? Release is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of trust. When you release, you are saying, Spirit, I trust you more than I trust my own limited understanding. And in that trust, you open the door for miracles. Pause here and let this truth sink in. Picture your life as a beautiful garden. For years, you've been planting seeds of desire, dreams of financial freedom, perfect health, loving relationships, and joyful purpose. But if your hands are full of weeds, fear, guilt, doubt, and control, you cannot tend to your dreams. Release is like clearing those weeds. You don't have to know how the garden will grow. You only need to clear the soil and trust that Spirit will send the rain and sunshine at the perfect time. Florence taught a powerful prayer for release. I cast every burden on the Christ within and I go free. Say it now, silently in your mind. Again. Let it become your new rhythm. I cast every burden on the Christ within and I go free. With every repetition, feel yourself becoming lighter, freer, and more open to receive. Now, Spirit shows you something extraordinary. As you release, you notice a stream of golden light flowing toward you, carrying gifts you could not have imagined. Where there was once fear, there is now peace. Where there was lack, there is now provision. Where there was confusion, there is now clarity. Spirit fills every space you have cleared with blessings beyond your comprehension. Florence said, "Nothing stands between man and his highest good, but his own doubt and fear." This is why release is so powerful. It is the act of removing that doubt and fear, making room for Spirit's perfect plan to manifest. Imagine yourself now standing under a waterfall of pure light. This light washes over you, cleansing every cell, every thought, every memory. It washes away worry. It dissolves anxiety. It lifts shame and guilt until there is nothing left but joy, peace, and faith. You begin to see your life differently. That burden you thought you had to carry, it was never yours. That fear that kept you awake at night, it was only a shadow. That limitation that seemed so real, it was an illusion. Spirit's truth is this: you are already free. Take a deep breath. Whisper to yourself, I am free. I am light. I am safe. I am provided for. Let those words echo through you like a song. Now Spirit invites you to visualize one more thing. Picture yourself standing at a river. The water flows endlessly, clear and sparkling. In your hands, you hold a bundle of papers. Each one represents a worry, a debt, a fear, a regret. One by one, begin to drop them into the river. Watch as the current carries them away. Feel the relief as each burden disappears downstream, never to return. You don't need to chase them. You don't need to fix them. Spirit is already working on every situation. You are free. Pause here for a moment of silence. Allow this image to settle deeply into your subconscious mind. Tonight as you sleep, this truth will be imprinted upon your soul. You do not need to carry what Spirit is already handling. Now imagine Spirit speaking gently to your heart. Beloved, you are safe. You are guided. You are loved beyond measure. I have already prepared every blessing for you. Your part is to trust, to release, and to allow me to work. Let these words wash over you. Feel them rewriting your beliefs at the deepest level. You no longer need to hustle, stress, or strive. You no longer need to carry fear like armor. Spirit is your safety. Spirit is your supply. Spirit is your peace. You feel yourself smiling now, perhaps even laughing softly at how heavy those burdens felt, and yet how light they truly were in the presence of Spirit. Florence said, "Man can only receive what he sees himself receiving." Tonight you see yourself not as burdened but as free. Not as struggling, but as carried. Not as a beggar, but as a beloved child of God. This shift changes everything. As you go to sleep tonight, your subconscious will no longer replay the same cycles of fear and limitation. It will instead meditate on this truth: you are safe, you are supported, and every need is already met. Take a deep breath and whisper, "It is done. It is done. It is done." Now see yourself walking away from that meadow, that chest, that river. But this time you are lighter. Your hands are open. Your heart is open. And as you look around, you see opportunities beginning to sprout like flowers along your path. Spirit is moving swiftly now, bringing everything you need. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to force it. You only have to walk forward in peace, knowing that your good is already here. The perfect law of release is at work in your life now. Trust it. Rest in it. And know that tonight, as you sleep, this law is rearranging circumstances, moving mountains, and clearing the way for blessings you could not have planned. You are free. You are loved. You are abundant. And nothing can change that truth. You've placed every burden on the altar. You've surrendered the heavy loads that once bent your shoulders low. You've released fear, shame, regret, and now, something extraordinary begins to happen. In the stillness of your spirit, you feel movement behind you, a stirring, a gentle pressure, like the brush of wind against your back. Slowly, gracefully, you begin to sense something magnificent unfolding the wings of abundance. They have been here all along, hidden and folded beneath the weight of your burdens, unable to stretch to their full span because you were carrying what Spirit never intended you to bear. But now that you have released it all, these radiant wings are free to open. Take a slow, deep breath and see them clearly in your mind's eye. They are golden, shimmering with divine light, each feather glowing like liquid sunlight. As they spread wider, you feel lighter, lifted, almost buoyant. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, "The invisible forces are ever working for man, who is always pulling the strings himself, though he does not know it." These wings are one of those forces. They represent your spiritual power, your divine inheritance, and the unseen law of spirit that lifts you above the limitations of the material world. As the wings continue to unfold, imagine yourself being gently lifted off the ground. You are weightless, free, rising effortlessly into the sky. Below you, you see the landscape of your old life, the worries, the struggles, the patterns of lack and limitation. But from this higher perspective, you see them for what they truly are: illusions. They were shadows, not substance. They were smoke screens, not reality. Spirit's truth is the only truth, and from this height, you finally see clearly. Take another deep breath and let yourself rise higher. The air is warm and filled with golden light. You are soaring now, supported completely by Spirit, and you realize you are not climbing a ladder of success or clawing your way up a mountain of struggle. You are being lifted. This is not effort. This is grace, Florence said. Man's word is his wand filled with magic and power. From this elevated place, your words carry even more authority. You understand now that every decree you speak echoes through the spiritual realm like a bell ringing across the universe. Your voice has weight here, not the weight of worry, but the weight of divine truth. As you soar higher, you notice something breathtaking. The higher you rise, the more clearly you see Spirit's perfect plan for your life. Situations that seemed confusing from ground level now make sense. Delays that frustrated you reveal themselves as divine timing. Doors that once felt closed show hidden pathways you couldn't see before. Pause here and take this in. Spirit is not withholding anything from you. Spirit has been positioning you, preparing you, aligning everything in your life so that when you receive your blessings, you will be ready to handle them with wisdom and joy. Your wings shimmer brighter as you lean into this truth. You are not struggling anymore. You are gliding, moving with the wind of Spirit beneath you. This wind is the breath of God, the same breath that spoke galaxies into existence, the same breath that carries divine supply to every living creature. And now it carries you. As you float higher, you hear a gentle voice within say, "This is who you have always been. You were born to soar. You were created to live in freedom. You were never meant to crawl through life weighed down by fear. You are a child of the King, and these wings are your birthright." Let these words settle deep within you. Feel them rewriting every lie that told you were small, unworthy, or forgotten. Spirit has never forgotten you. Spirit has been waiting for this very moment, for you to rise and claim your true identity. Now, imagine looking down at your life again. See every circumstance you once thought of as a problem or obstacle. From this elevated view, they are no longer mountains blocking your path. They are stepping stones, each one designed to lead you to this moment of spiritual clarity. Florence said, "Man's supply is inexhaustible and unfailing when fully trusted." From this height, you feel that truth in your bones. You realize that the universe is not stingy. There is no shortage of wealth, no lack of opportunity, no scarcity of love or resources. Lack was always an illusion, a fog that cleared the moment you rose high enough to see from Spirit's perspective. Take a deep breath and feel yourself flying over a vast golden river. It stretches endlessly in every direction, sparkling like molten sunlight. This is the river of divine supply. It has always been here, flowing freely, waiting for you to dip your cup and drink. From this vantage point, you understand that abundance is not something you create or attract. It is something you align with. The river has never stopped flowing. You simply had to rise above fear and limitation to see it. Now, Spirit invites you to do something powerful. Stretch your wings wide and hover above this golden river. See it shimmering below, flowing with opportunities, blessings, and miracles. Imagine yourself dipping one wing into the water, and as you do, feel a surge of divine energy rushing through your entire being. This is the supply of Spirit, and it is endless. Repeat softly, I am connected to the infinite source of supply. My wings carry me into abundance. Stay here for a moment, hovering over the river, absorbing its power. You feel your wings growing stronger, your confidence building, your faith becoming unshakable. Now, Spirit whispers again, you are meant to live above fear. You are meant to walk on air, to soar on the wind of faith. Every limitation is falling away now. You are rising into your rightful place. Let yourself feel that truth fully. Notice how your breath has slowed, how your heart feels lighter, how your mind feels clear. You are no longer entangled in the noise and chaos of the world. You are resting in divine flow. Florence taught, fear and impatience demagnetize. Faith and thankfulness magnetize. From this elevated perspective, you choose faith. You choose gratitude. You choose to believe that everything you need is already here, that every prayer has already been answered, that every dream is already complete in divine mind. As you glide through the skies of Spirit, your wings begin to sparkle even more brilliantly. You realize now that these wings are not just symbols. They are spiritual reality. They represent your ability to rise above appearances, to move with divine timing, to see from Spirit's perspective. Below you, you see other people still struggling, weighed down by fear and worry. But instead of judging them, you send them blessings from this elevated place. You speak silently. I see you rising. I see you free. I see you blessed. Your words ripple through the spiritual realm, and you watch as their burdens begin to lighten too. This is the power of your wings. They not only lift you, but they create uplift for others. Spirit shows you that as you rise, you become a beacon, a source of inspiration for those around you. Your very presence begins to change the atmosphere in your home, your work, your relationships. People will feel peace around you and not know why. They will sense abundance in you and want to rise higher themselves. Pause here and feel the truth of this. You are no longer just a receiver of blessings. You are a transmitter of divine abundance. Everywhere you go, you will carry this energy, this faith, this light. Your wings are your ministry. Now, imagine flying higher, until you reach a brilliant white cloud glowing with divine light. This is a sacred resting place, a place where you can land and simply soak in Spirit's presence. As you gently land on this cloud, your wings fold gracefully behind you, but you know they are always ready to carry you again. You sit in stillness now, feeling waves of peace washing over you. You hear Spirit's voice again, my beloved child. You are safe. You are free. You are richly supplied. I have given you wings so that you will never again feel trapped by circumstances. Rise above appearances. Trust in me. I have already prepared your way. Let those words echo within you. Feel every cell of your body responding, every doubt dissolving, every fear melting away. You are no longer bound by the rules of limitation. You are soaring with Spirit. Take a deep breath and whisper, I rise on wings of abundance. I am free. I am blessed. I am lifted. Repeat it again and again. Let it become your anthem. Stay in this place of peace as long as you need. Feel the strength of your wings, the gentleness of the cloud beneath you, the radiant light surrounding you. You are completely safe, completely loved, completely provided for. From this day forward, whenever fear tries to return, you will remember this moment. You will remember that you are not earthbound. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a spiritual being, and you were created to soar. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, man can only be enslaved by his own thoughts. But tonight, those thoughts have been transformed. You have risen above them. You are free. You are light. You are carried by Spirit itself. Rest here now in this truth. Your wings are strong. Your spirit is free. And your abundance is assured. As you sit upon that glowing cloud, your golden wings folded gently behind you, Spirit whispers softly, there is more for you to see. There is a place prepared for you, a place where every need has already been met, a place where abundance is not a hope, but a reality. You lift your eyes, and there before you, rising high into the heavens, is a palace unlike anything your mind has ever conceived. It glimmers with light that seems to come from within its very walls. Pearlescent white, shimmering gold, sparkling jewels embedded into every archway. This is the palace of provision. Florence wrote, "The supply of spirit is inexhaustible and immediate." This palace is proof. It is not being built. It is not being prepared. It has always been here, complete, waiting for you to recognize its doors and walk inside. With a single breath, your wings unfurl once more, and you feel yourself gliding effortlessly toward it. As you approach, you notice that the air around you has changed. It is thicker, richer, humming with the vibration of divine wealth. There is music in this air, though no instruments are visible. It is the sound of harmony, the song of spirit's order and perfection. You land gently at the gates of this palace, gates so tall they seem to reach the very stars, yet they do not intimidate you. Instead, they welcome you. On them are engraved words of eternal truth. All that is mine by divine right is now released to me under grace. The gates swing open as if recognizing your presence, and you step forward into a reality that changes everything. Inside, the palace is breathtaking. Floors of crystal reflect golden light from towering chandeliers. Halls stretch endlessly, lined with doors carved with intricate symbols. Symbols that speak to your soul in a language beyond words. Spirit whispers. Each door represents an area of your life already provided for. Finances, health, relationships, creativity, purpose. All that you seek is stored here, waiting for you to claim it. Pause here. Let this image settle deeply within you. This palace is not a dream. It is a spiritual truth. Florence wrote, "There is a supply for every demand." That supply is not in some far-off future. It exists right now, in this palace that has always been yours. You take your first step forward, and the sound of your footsteps echoes like music, filling the grand hall. The light around you glows brighter, as if celebrating your arrival. Spirit says, "Beloved, welcome home. You have always had a place here. You are not a guest, you are a child of the King." As you walk, you see a grand staircase spiraling upward, each step glowing beneath your feet. You ascend slowly, reverently, feeling yourself drawn toward a massive set of double doors at the top. When you reach them, you place your hands upon the golden handles. They are warm, alive, pulsing with divine energy. With one gentle push, the doors swing open. You step into a throne room filled with light so pure, so radiant, that it feels like liquid gold pouring over your entire being. In the center of this throne room is a massive table, overflowing with riches beyond imagination. Jewels, treasures, gold coins, stacks of provision. Yet, as you look closer, you see that these riches are not merely material, they are spiritual. Each jewel represents wisdom, each coin represents opportunity, each treasure represents answered prayer. Spirit speaks again. This is your inheritance. Not because you have earned it, not because you have strived for it, but because you are mine. What is mine is yours. You feel tears forming in your eyes as you realize this truth. Abundance was never something to chase. It was always something to claim. Florence said, "Man can only receive what he sees himself receiving." Take a moment to see yourself now, standing in the very throne room of spirit, surrounded by infinite provision. Let yourself believe that this is not fantasy, but reality. This palace is the blueprint of your spiritual life, and everything in it has your name upon it. Spirit invites you closer to the table. As you walk forward, you notice that every item glows brighter as you approach, as if recognizing you as its rightful owner. You pick up a jewel and instantly feel wisdom flowing into your mind. Answers to problems you've been carrying for years suddenly become clear. You pick up a golden key, and Spirit whispers, "This key opens the doors to opportunities you thought were closed forever." You take a deep breath, and the atmosphere of the room fills you with peace, so deep it feels like a soft robe wrapping around your soul. Pause and let this moment settle. Now, Spirit beckons you to look around. All along the walls of this throne room are doors, each marked with your desires: health, wealth, relationships, purpose, joy. You walk to the first door labeled wealth and place your hand upon it. Instantly, a vision flashes before your eyes. You see streams of money flowing towards you, not because of hustle, not because of manipulation, but because you are aligned with spirit. You see your needs met with ease, your debts dissolved, your heart at peace. Florence said, "There is a divine plan for every man, and that plan is a pattern of perfect success." This door reveals that divine plan. Spirit has already arranged every connection, every resource, every breakthrough you will ever need. Your role is not to create the plan, but to walk in it. You move to the next door, marked Health. As you touch it, you feel warmth flowing through your body. You see yourself vibrant, strong, full of energy. Every cell glows with light. Spirit whispers, "Your body is my temple, and I restore it daily." You walk to Relationships. This door shows images of reconciliation, love, and harmony. Spirit says, "I am the great harmonizer. I make crooked paths straight. I restore what was broken and bless what is whole." Finally, you come to a door labeled Purpose. As you open it, a vision of your destiny unfolds before you. You see yourself walking boldly, confidently, fulfilling the work you were created to do. Spirit says, "This is why you are here. You are chosen, you are equipped, and I will supply every resource you need to fulfill your calling." You step back into the throne room, your heart overflowing with gratitude. Spirit smiles and says, "This palace is yours. It always has been. You are free to come here at any time in prayer, in meditation, in faith. Everything you see here is already yours in the spiritual realm, and it is now being released into your life in perfect timing." Florence wrote, "The game of life is a game of boomerangs. Man's thoughts, deeds, and words return to him sooner or later, with astounding accuracy. This palace is proof that every good word you've spoken, every act of faith you've taken, every seed you've sown has returned multiplied. You are walking now in the harvest of your faith. Take a deep breath and imagine yourself sitting at the grand table. Spirit places a golden scroll before you. On it are written these words, "All that is mine by divine right is now released to me under grace, in perfect ways." Speak this out loud slowly and feel the shift happening in your spirit. Say it again. "All that is mine by divine right is now released to me under grace, in perfect ways." As you speak, you see streams of light flowing from the palace into your life on earth. These streams become opportunities, breakthroughs, miracles, and unexpected blessings. Spirit whispers, "You will not have to struggle to receive these things. You will only need to trust, for I have already gone before you to prepare the way." And now Spirit invites you to rise from the table and walk toward the balcony of the palace. You step outside, and the view takes your breath away. Below you is a vast, infinite kingdom stretching farther than your eyes can see. Rivers of gold wind through emerald valleys. Fields of blessing bloom endlessly. This is your inheritance, your spiritual reality. Spirit says, "Beloved, this is the truth of who you are. The palace is not separate from you. It is within you. It is the kingdom of God within, always accessible, always abundant. You never need to beg for supply. You only need to claim it. Let this truth wash over you. You are not a servant knocking on the door of blessing. You are an heir, standing in the palace that has always been yours." Florence wrote, "No man is your enemy, no man is your friend, every man is your teacher." Every challenge, every delay, every obstacle you faced was a teacher leading you here, preparing you to enter this palace with humility and gratitude. You take one more deep breath and open your arms wide on the balcony. The wind of spirit rushes over you, carrying the fragrance of divine abundance. You feel your wings stir again, ready to carry you wherever spirit leads. Spirit whispers softly, "You are free. You are blessed. You are my beloved. And this palace, this wealth, this peace, this is your natural state. Walk in it, speak from it, live in it." You step back inside, your heart overflowing. You know now that this vision will stay with you forever. Each time you close your eyes in faith, you can return here, to this palace of perfect provision. Say softly to yourself, "I live in the kingdom of abundance now. I walk in the palace of provision. I am richly supplied in all things." Pause, breathe. Let this truth settle deep into your subconscious, where it will work powerfully as you sleep tonight. You leave the grand throne room, your heart overflowing, your spirit glowing with the truth of your divine inheritance. Spirit whispers softly, "Beloved, there is yet another place I wish to show you. A place where miracles grow like flowers, a sacred sanctuary where every prayer you have ever spoken is already blooming." You follow this invitation, walking down a long, crystal hallway lined with light. The walls seem alive, glowing with a soft, golden radiance. Your footsteps make no sound, they feel weightless, as if you are gliding ahead. You see a great archway, its frame covered in living vines of emerald and silver. As you step through, you are greeted by a sight so breathtaking you pause, in awe, the Garden of Miracles. This is no ordinary garden. It stretches endlessly, filled with colors you've never seen before. Flowers shimmer like gemstones, ruby roses, sapphire lilies, emerald ferns swaying gently in a breeze that smells of heaven itself. There is a soft mist that glows with golden light, and you feel the air around you vibrating with peace, abundance, and divine love. Spirit says gently, "This is the garden of every seed of faith you have ever planted, every prayer whispered in tears, every word of gratitude spoken in faith, every declaration of abundance released into the universe. They are all here, blooming into reality." You step forward, and your heart begins to race with joy. You see a beautiful rose bush glowing brightly. Spirit whispers, "This represents the financial breakthrough you prayed for. See how radiant it is. It is ready to manifest." You kneel before it, breathing in its fragrance, and you feel peace wash over you as if the answer is already here, in your hands. Nearby, you see a tall, magnificent tree. Its branches are heavy with golden fruit, glowing like lanterns. Spirit says, "These are opportunities, divine connections, and blessings that are ripening even now. You will taste them soon, and they will be sweet to your soul." You walk deeper into this garden, your spirit overwhelmed by its beauty. Flowers of every shape and color line the pathways. Some are small, delicate, like prayers you whispered long ago and almost forgot. Yet here they are, growing strong and steady, because Spirit never forgets a single seed of faith. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, "Every thought, every word is a seed." This garden is proof. Every thought of love has bloomed into radiant blossoms. Every declaration of faith has grown into towering trees of abundance. And even prayers spoken in fear have been lovingly transformed, pruned by Spirit's hand, until only beauty remains. You pause at a fountain in the center of the garden. It sparkles with water so clear it looks like liquid crystal. Spirit invites you to kneel beside it and dip your hands into the water. As you do, warmth floods your body, and you feel your spirit being cleansed of every trace of doubt and fear. Spirit says, "This is the living water of faith. Drink deeply." Every limitation is dissolving now. Every chain is breaking. Every part of you is being renewed. You drink, and peace fills your heart. Suddenly, you hear laughter. Not loud, but soft and sweet, like the sound of children playing. You turn and see angels, radiant and joyful, tending to the garden. They water the flowers, prune the trees, and scatter seeds that glow like stardust. Spirit explains, "These are the messengers of divine law, ensuring that every good seed you have planted grows in perfect order and timing." Pause here. Feel the atmosphere of this place. This garden is alive, vibrant, breathing with spirit. Every sound, every color, every fragrance speaks of abundance. You realize something powerful: miracles are not random or rare. They are as natural as flowers blooming, as inevitable as spring following winter. Florence wrote, "There is a supply for every demand. Here, that truth is visible. Every prayer has been heard. Every desire of your heart, when aligned with divine good, is growing here, flourishing beyond what you can imagine." You begin walking again, and Spirit leads you to a quiet corner of the garden where a small tree grows, glowing softly. Spirit whispers, "This tree represents your dreams, the ones you thought were too big, too impossible. They are not dead, they are alive. And now, you are ready to see them bloom." You place your hand on the trunk, and a rush of energy flows through you. In an instant, you see visions of yourself living those dreams, the home you prayed for, the financial freedom you longed for, the impact you desired to make in the world. Spirit says, "These dreams are not yours by accident. They were planted in your heart by me, and I never plant a seed I do not intend to grow. Tears fill your eyes as you realize the truth. Nothing has been wasted. Not a single prayer, not a single tear, not a single step of faith has been forgotten. Spirit has been tending this garden, nurturing every seed in perfect timing. You sit down on a bench made of white marble, its surface glowing with a soft, heavenly light. From this seat, you take in the entire garden, and you feel gratitude rising in your soul like a song. You whisper softly, "Thank you, Spirit, for every miracle growing here. Thank you for preparing this place for me. I trust your timing. I trust your plan. I trust your love." As you speak these words, the entire garden seems to respond. Flowers sway gently, trees shimmer with light, and the fountain sparkles brighter. Spirit whispers, "Gratitude is the water that makes miracles grow. Speak it often, and watch this garden flourish." You begin to see golden pathways forming through the garden, leading to doors carved into the hillsides. Spirit says, each door leads to a manifestation, a miracle that is ready to enter your physical life. Some are ready now, some will bloom in time, but all are yours. You rise from the bench and walk toward one of these doors. As you place your hand on it, you feel warmth flowing through you. Spirit whispers, "This door opens to the next breakthrough you need. Will you open it?" You nod and gently push. Light pours through the doorway, flooding the garden with radiance. You step inside and see glimpses of blessings already on their way, unexpected opportunities. Divine connections, financial provision, perfect health, restored relationships. Spirit says, "These are not wishes, they are certainties. They are already done in the spiritual realm. They are blooming here so that you may walk confidently in faith." You step back into the garden, your heart overflowing. Everywhere you look, you see miracles in motion. Even the smallest flowers represent prayers you thought were forgotten, yet Spirit has been nurturing them all along. You realize now that you never needed to worry. You never needed to strive. Spirit has been working behind the scenes in ways you could not see. Florence said, "When man knows the spiritual law, he brings into his life everything he desires." This garden is that law in action. It is living proof that your faith is not in vain. Spirit invites you to walk deeper into the garden, to a sacred grove filled with golden trees. In the center of this grove is a massive tree with roots glowing deep in the ground and branches stretching into the heavens. Spirit whispers, "This is the tree of divine supply. Its roots are planted in eternity. Its fruit is endless, and it belongs to you." You place your hand on the trunk, and waves of peace and power flow through you. Spirit says, "You will never be without. You will never be forsaken. You will never be left empty-handed. This is your inheritance, an endless supply of good, ready to manifest whenever you are ready to receive." You take a piece of glowing fruit from the tree and hold it close to your heart. In that moment, every fear of lack dissolves. You know now that you are supported by something far greater than yourself. The law of Spirit is perfect, and it never fails. You sit at the base of this tree, leaning against its glowing trunk. The garden feels like home, and you realize that it is. This is your inner sanctuary. You can return here anytime, in meditation, in prayer, in faith. Spirit whispers one final message. "Beloved, miracles are not far from you. They are growing all around you. They are blooming even now. Believe, and you shall see. Speak, and you shall receive. Rest, and you shall flourish." You close your eyes, breathing deeply, letting every word sink into your subconscious mind. This is more than a vision. It is your reality. The garden of miracles is alive within you, and its fruit will manifest in your life in divine order. Florence wrote, "There is a perfect plan for your life, and it will unfold with ease when you speak your word in faith." As you rest beneath this tree, you know that plan is already unfolding. The evidence is all around you. You rise to your feet one last time and look over the garden, glowing with divine light. You whisper softly, "Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for this truth. Thank you for this abundance. I receive it fully now." You rise from the garden of miracles, your heart full of gratitude, your spirit shining with divine truth. Spirit whispers gently, "Beloved, there is one last place to see, One final revelation that will seal everything you have received tonight. Follow me. You begin walking along a golden path that winds through the garden, glowing softly under your feet. Each step feels light, effortless, as though the ground itself is carrying you forward. Ahead, you see a radiant light growing brighter and brighter. The closer you come, the more your heart begins to stir with awe. You sense this is the very center of the spiritual realm, the source of all supply, the seat of divine authority. And then, you see it. The throne of grace. It is not like any throne you've ever imagined. It is alive, pulsing with light that shimmers like liquid gold and silver. Around it are rivers of crystal, clear water flowing in every direction, and above it is a radiant crown of rainbow, colored light that fills the entire sky. The throne seems to breathe, radiating peace, power, and perfect love all at once. You feel an overwhelming sense of safety, as though every burden you've ever carried has completely dissolved in this holy place. Spirit speaks softly. This is the throne of grace, the seat of divine authority. This is where all things are decreed into being, where every prayer, every affirmation, every decree of faith is confirmed by Spirit and sent forth with power. Here, your words become law, for they align with my eternal word. You take a deep breath and step forward, feeling waves of peace washing over you. Angels surround the throne, their wings shimmering with every color of light. They bow their heads, not in sadness or fear, but in reverence and joy, as if they are celebrating your arrival. You realize something profound: you are welcome here. You are not an intruder or a stranger. This place was prepared for you before the foundation of the world. You kneel before the throne of grace, and Spirit whispers, "Beloved, you have come full circle. You have released your burdens. You have seen the palace of provision and the garden of miracles. Now, it is time for you to speak your decree, for what you declare here will be established in your life." You close your eyes, and in your spirit, you feel waves of divine authority rising within you. This is not human willpower. This is not positive thinking. This is the Christ within you, the divine presence that Florence Scovel Shinn wrote about so often. It is the part of you that is one with infinite spirit, one with divine law, one with the creator of all things. Florence wrote, "Your word is your wand. With it you can create or destroy. You can bless or you can curse. You can call into being that which is unseen and watch it manifest before your very eyes." Here at the throne of grace, you finally understand this truth. Spirit says, "Speak boldly, beloved, for your words here carry the weight of heaven." You take a deep breath, and with a calm, steady voice, you speak, "Infinite Spirit, I thank you for the divine plan of my life, which is now unfolding with grace and ease. I decree that every good and perfect gift with my name on it is finding me now. I declare that every door that belongs to me by divine right is opening wide. I release every burden to the Christ within and go free. I walk in the light of divine wealth, perfect health, and overflowing joy. I am supplied, I am guided, and I am divinely protected. Nothing is too good to be true. Nothing is too wonderful to happen, and nothing is too glorious to last. I am now open and receptive to miracles, and I give thanks that it is already done." As you speak these words, the throne seems to pulse with light, as though every syllable has been absorbed and recorded in the very heart of Spirit. Angels begin to move swiftly, carrying your decree into every corner of the universe. You hear Spirit whisper, "It is done. It is law. It is yours." The atmosphere is electric now. You feel currents of divine power rushing through your entire being. Your heart beats in rhythm with the universe itself. Every cell of your body feels alive, renewed, energized with spiritual truth. You realize this is not just a vision or a meditation. This is reality. The throne of grace exists within you, and every time you align your words with Spirit, you speak from this place of absolute authority. Pause here. Take a deep breath and allow this truth to settle into your subconscious mind. Feel every doubt dissolving, every fear melting away. You are no longer begging for blessings. You are decreeing them. You are no longer asking if good will come. You are declaring that good is here now. Florence said, "A person can only receive what he sees himself receiving." Here at the throne, you see yourself living in overflow. You see yourself healed, blessed, and free. You see every area of your life touched by divine love. The throne glows brighter, and Spirit says, "Rise, beloved, you have spoken your decree. Now, walk in it." You stand slowly, and as you do, you feel a robe of light settle over your shoulders. It is dazzling white, shimmering with gold and silver threads. Spirit whispers, "This is your robe of righteousness. You wear it not because of your perfection, but because of my grace. You are covered in divine favor, clothed in the light of Spirit. Wherever you go, doors will open. Wherever you step, blessings will flow. You begin to walk away from the throne, but you know this is not truly leaving. This throne is within you now. This authority lives inside you. Spirit says softly, "You are a king and a priest in my kingdom." Your words carry weight. Use them to bless, to create, to heal, to call forth good. You step back into the crystal hallway, and you notice that the palace, the garden, the throne, they are all within you. They are not distant places. They are realms of consciousness, accessible at any time. As you walk, Spirit gives you a final vision. You see your own life as if from above. You see your home, your loved ones, your work, your finances, your dreams. But everything is glowing now, infused with divine light. You realize that nothing has changed physically yet, but everything has changed spiritually. The blueprint of your life has been rewritten. The manifestation is inevitable. Florence wrote, "Every great work, every big accomplishment, has been brought into manifestation through holding to the vision. And often just before the big achievement comes apparent failure and discouragement." Spirit says, "Hold fast to what you have seen tonight. Even when appearances look dark, remember this throne. Remember your robe of light. Remember your authority. Your word is law." You feel a deep peace settle over you as you come to the end of this journey. Spirit says softly, "Beloved, rest now. You have sown the seeds. You have spoken the decree. Trust the process. The harvest is already on its way." You close your eyes and take a deep breath. In your heart, you feel yourself kneeling at that throne once again, whispering one final affirmation. "I am one with the Creator of the universe. I am one with infinite supply. I am one with divine wisdom and perfect timing. My life is unfolding exactly as it should, and I give thanks that it is already done." As you speak these words, you feel something powerful, a click, a shift, a release. It is as if a door has swung open and a great river of blessings is rushing towards you. You do not need to chase it. It is coming to you. It is already here. Spirit says one last time, "Rest, beloved. Live in faith. Speak with authority. For the law is perfect, and the law has made you free." The light begins to soften now, and you feel yourself returning to your physical body. Your breathing slows, your heart is calm, and you feel completely at peace. You carry the energy of this throne within you. You are a walking temple, a vessel of divine authority, a magnet for miracles. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, "Your word is your wand. Tonight, you have spoken words that carry the power of Spirit. You have decreed abundance, and abundance is already here." Take one last deep breath and affirm softly, "Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for this journey. Thank you for this throne. Thank you for this authority. I go forth now in peace, power, and divine supply." You open your eyes, and though you are back in your room, everything feels different. The air feels lighter. The atmosphere feels charged with possibility. And deep in your heart, you know the work is already done. The manifestation has already begun. Pause here and rest. Let this truth sink deep into your subconscious mind. Tonight, you have entered the throne room of Spirit. You have spoken your decree. You have sealed your destiny. And from this moment forward, nothing will ever be the same.
You think it's what you say in front of others that shapes your life. You think it's the declarations you post online, the affirmations spoken aloud in morning light, the vision boards and bold goals taped to your mirror that create the life you see. But I tell you the truth, the most dangerous words you speak are the ones no one hears, the ones muttered under your breath when you're alone, the ones that escape your lips in the dark, in defeat, in secrecy, the words you whisper when you think God isn't listening. But God is always listening, not to your mask, not to your performance, but to your pattern. and your pattern is written in the sentences you speak when your back is to the wall and the curtain is drawn. I speak now to the soul who is tired of cycles, tired of doing everything right and seeing everything go wrong, tired of affirmations in the morning and anxiety at midnight, tired of visualizing one thing and watching the opposite appear. You think you're blocked. You think something is resisting your good. But what if the saboteur is your own silent speech? What if the life you're living is not the result of your conscious faith, but the fruit of your whispered fear? Let me be clear, the subconscious hears everything. It does not differentiate between light and dark, between good and bad, between truth and lie. It simply receives what is spoken and makes it real. It obeys without judgment. It responds without delay. And while you're praying for miracles at sunrise, it's still replaying the curses you uttered under your breath at midnight. It doesn't care what you meant. It registers what you said. And so, if you speak despair in secret and faith in public, do not be surprised when your world reflects the former. The soil doesn't care if the seed was planted with intention or accident. It grows what you drop into it. But here is the glory. The same law that produced the harvest you did not want can produce the harvest you now choose. And it begins in the dark. The turning point is not when everything looks better. It is when you speak differently while nothing has changed. It is when the room is still empty and you say, I am full. It is when your body still hurts and you say, I am healed. It is when your bank account says 0 and you say, God is my unfailing supply. That's when the shift begins, not in the circumstance, but in the root. So I make this holy declaration now, and I ask you to speak it aloud with me, not as a habit, but as a verdict. I now speak light into every shadow of my being, again slowly, with the full authority of one who knows their word is law. I now speak light into every shadow of my being. No matter how long I've whispered fear, light now enters that corner. No matter how long I've rehearsed lack, light now dissolves it. No matter how hidden the patterns, I bring them to the altar of speech and I rewrite them. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be aware. You only need to remember that the power is not in your perfection, but in your patterned word. And that word begins to change when you change what you say in the dark. The private word becomes the public harvest. The hidden declaration becomes the visible breakthrough. And so we begin. And so it is. There is a law more active than gravity, more precise than arithmetic, more consistent than the sunrise. It is the law of subconscious imprinting. And whether you believe in it or not, it is working. Whether you fear it, fight it, or forget it, it is writing the future of your experience with quiet, unsentimental precision. This law governs the unseen realm, where your spoken word becomes seed, and your inner world becomes soil. And every syllable you speak, especially when you are alone, especially when you are hurting, especially when you are no longer pretending, is a seed dropped into the most obedient ground in all of creation, your subconscious mind. The subconscious is not poetic. It does not care about the context. It does not weigh your intentions. It does not say, she was just venting or he didn't mean it. It simply receives, it absorbs, it accepts whatever is said in repetition, with emotional charge or in solitude. It listens not just when you're seated in meditation or chanting your morning affirmations. It listens most when you're driving in silence, when you're laying in bed alone with your thoughts, when you're washing dishes and muttering about how tired you are, how broke you feel, how nothing ever works. That's when the seeds get planted. Not the words you say when you're inspired, but the ones you say by habit. And Jesus spoke it clearly. He left no room for confusion. For there is nothing hidden that will not be made manifest. Luke 8:17. What does that mean? It means every private declaration becomes a public result. Every whispered complaint becomes a circumstance. Every late-night confession, even said in exhaustion or jest, becomes matter. The subconscious is not sentimental. it is structural. It takes the blueprint of your inner speech and builds a world to match it. You think you're just surviving the day, but if you are not conscious, you are scripting the next one. So ask yourself, what have you spoken in the dark? What did you say to yourself after the breakup, after the failure, after the job rejection? What did you declare when the bill came, when the scale rose, when the door shut? Did you say, nothing ever works for me? Did you whisper, I knew this would happen again? Did you mutter, I can't afford that? Because those words didn't vanish into thin air. They were planted. And unless they are uprooted by truth, they will grow. But here is the miracle. Just as easily as the subconscious accepts fear, it accepts faith. Just as it absorbed doubt, it will absorb declaration. It does not resist correction. It does not hold grudges. It simply obeys. So you do not need to be perfect. You only need to be present. Present enough to hear yourself in the dark. Present enough to catch the pattern. Present enough to say, that was a seed I do not consent to grow. And so now we speak what will be made manifest. Say this with me, not to hope, but to plant. My subconscious is holy ground. I only plant what I want to see. Again, with certainty, my subconscious is holy ground. I only plant what I want to see. This is how your unseen becomes seen. This is how the invisible turns to form. The law does not delay. It does not sleep. It simply fulfills what has been whispered. So let us whisper no more. Let us declare. And so it is. It is easy to speak faith when the sun is shining. It is easy to speak prosperity when the bank is full. It is easy to declare wholeness when the body feels strong and the room echoes with applause. But those words, though good, are not the ones that shape your destiny. The most powerful words are not spoken in the light. They are spoken in the dark, when you don't feel like saying them, when the tears blur the page, when the air is thick with fear and nothing looks like what you prayed for. That is the hour of creation. That is the moment where divine power is forged. That is when your voice matters most. So I ask you now, not what do you say when it's working, but what do you say when it's not? What comes out of your mouth in the hallway between the prayer and the promise? Do you say, why does this always happen to me? Do you mutter, it's always something? Do you repeat, I can't handle this, even as you live through it? That's the pattern. That's the loop. That's the lie clothed in emotion, scripting your next delay. Because while feelings are allowed to pass through, they are not allowed to speak for you. You are not a victim of your feelings. You are the authority over your words. And feelings may scream, but they do not create. Only the word does. So here is the holy shift. When grief tightens its grip, speak light. When anxiety rattles your chest, speak peace. When lack rises up and mocks you, speak divine supply. Not because you feel like it, but because you are rooted in law, not in mood. Say with me now, like you are carving it into your atmosphere. Though I walk in darkness, I speak only light. Again, slower, stronger. Though I walk in darkness, I speak only light. You are not denying the pain. You are refusing to give it the microphone. You are not ignoring the emotion. You are deciding who gets to write your next chapter. And it is not the fear. It is not the panic. It is not the inherited voice of your mother's struggle or your father's silence. It is the truth that you now claim as your compass. There is a moment in every trial, in every valley, where the enemy of your soul waits in the shadows, not to strike, but to agree. To get you to agree with lack, to agree with loss, to agree with limitation. It whispers, say it. Say you're tired. Say you're done. Say it's not working, just once. Because if you say it, you plant it. And if you plant it, it must grow. But you don't have to. You don't have to come into agreement with hell. You don't have to come into agreement with feeling. You don't have to lend your mouth to the old cycle. you can stop it cold with truth. Say this now, not with emotion but with authority. Feelings pass, word creates. One more time as instruction to your inner world. Feelings pass, word creates. Let your body tremble. Let your knees shake. Let your tears fall. But do not change your confession. Because when all of this passes, and it will, what remains will be what you spoke in the middle. And if you spoke light, light will be your reward. You are not weak for crying, but you are not called to curse yourself in your cry. You are not broken for feeling pain, but you are not commanded to narrate the pain as your identity. You are not forbidden from grief, but you are never to give grief your microphone. Only truth deserves that place. So the next time it hurts, when the bill comes, when the friend leaves, when the report returns, pause, breathe, and say, "Though I walk in darkness, I speak only light." Because the dark has no power where the word walks, and so it is. You've been speaking things you didn't mean, and your life has been agreeing with them. You've been calling yourself broke, tired, unlucky, and cursed, and the world, with all its silent agreement, has nodded and said, "Yes, as you wish." Not because you're being punished, not because spirit delights in your struggle, but because the subconscious is law-bound and neutral. It does not filter for compassion. It does not check for spiritual alignment. It simply records and repeats. And every phrase you have ever spoken in fear is still there, looping quietly in the background of your being, setting expectations, filtering opportunities, scripting delay like it's destiny. But I tell you now, destiny is not delay. It is spoken decree. And what you decreed in fear must be overwritten. You are not condemned by what you've said in panic. You are only required to take dominion over it. Your past words do not hold permanent power unless you let them. So now we begin the sacred work of reprogramming the subconscious loop, not with violence, not with shame, but with consecrated authority. And it begins with this phrase. Say it now, slowly, like a key turning in a lock. I cancel every word I spoke in fear. Again, louder. I cancel every word I spoke in fear. Not one whisper of worry will remain rooted. Not one muttered curse will continue bearing fruit. Not one apology you made to lack will be honored. Every word that was born in anxiety, born in despair, born in inherited patterns of fear, they are nullified now. And now I invite you into the vision. See it. Close your eyes and see your old words floating in front of you. Those shadowy sentences you whispered late at night, the ones that made you feel small, unworthy, incapable. See them written in dark ink on the walls of your subconscious. I can't afford it. No one ever stays. It's always hard for me. That's just my luck. Now watch as light begins to pour in, liquid gold, radiant, warm, alive. It floods the room of your inner being, and every word written in shadow melts, not erased by effort, but dissolved by truth. Let that golden light overwrite the lies. Let it replace every fearful imprint with divine coding. Now, in that same golden light, begin the new loop, begin the new law. Speak this aloud with reverence and rhythm. My inner language matches divine law. Again, my inner language matches divine law. No more contradiction, no more confession of fear while affirming faith, no more duality. You are now aligned, inner and outer, seen and unseen. You no longer leak lack in private while proclaiming prosperity in public. You no longer speak two languages. You are fluent in only one, the language of spiritual truth. This is the reprogramming, not once, not in bursts, but daily, rhythmically, relentlessly. You speak what you mean, and you mean what aligns with divine mind. You no longer casually curse yourself. You no longer joke in defeat. You no longer mutter lies in stress and wonder why the world echoes them back. You speak with full awareness that the loop is live. Every syllable you speak is setting the tone for what you will live. So once more, seal it in sound. I cancel every word I spoke in fear. My inner language matches divine law. Let that phrase become the guardian at the gate of your mind. Let it stand watch every time a fearful sentence tries to rise. And let it remind you, you are not just the speaker, you are the scribe of your soul. And the new story begins now, and so it is. You must stop speaking from your surroundings. You must stop narrating the dirt as if it's your destiny. The world you see is not your truth, it's your residue. It is the temporary echo of your old word. But if you keep reporting what surrounds you, if you keep speaking from the appearance of lack, from the dust of discouragement, from the fog of confusion, you will stay bound to the soil. And the soil was never meant to be your authority. It was meant to be your servant. The soil responds to the seed, not the other way around. But when you look at the soil and adjust your confession to match it, you abort the harvest before it ever grows. I say it now, as a command to your inner being. Stop speaking from the soil. Stop saying what is. Stop explaining what hurts. Stop defining yourself by the dust you're walking through. Speak from the seed. Speak from what you've planted, what you've prophesied, what you've dared to declare in the unseen. You do not speak the dirt, you speak the tree. And the tree may not be visible yet, but if the seed was true, then the outcome is guaranteed. The tree is inevitable. The harvest is already coded into the word. Your only job is to keep speaking what's been planted, not what surrounds the seed in the meantime. Imagine the seed in the ground, buried, covered in silence, surrounded by darkness, pressed by dirt, no sunlight, no applause, nothing visible. But within it, encoded in silence, is the full blueprint of the tree. The roots, the trunk, the branches, the fruit, all of it already in motion. The seed doesn't need to understand the dirt. It doesn't ask the soil for permission. It doesn't complain about the darkness. It simply begins to rise because the code inside it has already decided what it will become. So why, child of God, do you stare at the dirt and speak defeat when the blueprint of greatness is already within you? I challenge you now. No longer speak from your surroundings. Speak only from the seed. If you planted wealth, speak abundance, even if the numbers say otherwise. If you planted healing, speak wholeness, even if the pain is still present. If you planted favor, speak open doors, even if every phone call is a no. You are not here to describe the dirt. You are here to prophesy the tree. And when you speak from the seed, you agree with the law that governs inevitable increase. Say it now as a holy challenge to your own mouth. I no longer speak from what surrounds me. I speak from what I've planted. Again, I speak not the soil, I speak the tree. Let this be your shift point. Let this be the moment your word stops echoing fear and starts activating fruit. And so it is. Let us now speak, not from emotion, but from dominion. Let us declare, not from anxiety, but from alignment. These are not chants to soothe your nerves. These are not poetic phrases to sound spiritual. These are verbal instruments of spiritual agriculture, each one a seed sown deep into the soil of your subconscious, each one backed by the full authority of divine law. Speak them now, not with hesitation, but as one who knows that what is planted in word will bear fruit in form. Your tongue is not idle. It is a spiritual tool, and this is how we build. Say this aloud with me, as if heaven and earth are pausing to hear it. My subconscious is fertile with light. Again, my subconscious is fertile with light. No more planting in fear. No more writing failure into your being with every emotional outburst. No more polluting the garden of your soul with careless murmurs. From this moment forward, you become intentional. You become rooted. You become responsible for the words you drop into yourself, and light is the only thing permitted to grow. My subconscious is fertile with light. Now speak the seed. Call it by name. Let the soil know what to multiply. Say, I plant wealth, health, and wholeness with my word. Again, deeper. I plant wealth, health, and wholeness with my word. You are not wishing. You are not begging. You are installing. You are writing a new code. You are telling the invisible realm what to build next. No more vague desires. No more fear-covered prayers. You name it. You speak it. And you plant it in the sacred field of your own inner being. I plant wealth, health, and wholeness with my word. Now cleanse the ground, guard it, protect it. Speak this like a sword held against every old pattern. No fear phrase shall take root in me. Say it again. No fear phrase shall take root in me. Fear may knock, worry may whisper, but you no longer give those voices authority. They are not allowed to live in you. They are not allowed to build in you. You hear them and you replace them. You notice them and you denounce them. And the moment you do, their seed loses power. You are the gatekeeper now. No fear phrase shall take root in me. And now we close this sequence, not with a question mark, not with a pause, but with finality, with truth as the last sound. Only truth bears fruit. Again, slowly, like you're engraving it into your spiritual DNA, only truth bears fruit. Not fear, not complaint, not history, not logic, not feelings, only truth. And from now on, truth is all you speak. And so it is. Have you been planting weeds with your words? Have you, in the secret hours of exhaustion, dropped phrases into your subconscious that never should have been spoken? Be honest now, not to be ashamed, but to be free. Did you say, it's always hard? Did you whisper, I don't know how much more I can take? Did you mutter, nothing ever works for me? Those were not just expressions. Those were seeds. And the law did not judge you. It obeyed you. The soil did not resist you. It responded. But today, with one conscious breath, one sacred decision, one holy sentence, you can begin the reversal. You are not here to punish yourself for what you said. You are here to take back the microphone. You are here to stop letting fear write your future. You are here to speak the light that transforms your dark. And I ask you now, not for me but for you, to mark this moment in sound and symbol. If your atmosphere has shifted, if your inner world has stirred, if you feel something new rising from the depths, then declare it where the law can witness it and your soul can confirm it. Comment now, I now speak light into my dark. Let it be your line in the sand. Let it be your reversal. Let it be your resurrection. Say it, type it, mean it. I now speak light into my dark, and return often, because the soil never sleeps, and the word still works, and so it is. There is a law that governs the unseen moment, the hour when no one is watching, when no one is affirming you, when the room is still and your fears get loud. It is not the law of hustle, not the law of performance. It is the law of silence paired with the spoken word. This law does not activate when you are celebrated. It activates when you are alone. When the sun has set, when the body is tired, when your soul drifts toward vulnerability, when the curtain of the day closes and you meet yourself, this is when the real decree begins. This is where creation starts, not with applause, but in the hush. The night symbolizes more than sleep. It symbolizes the subconscious phase of manifestation, when nothing looks alive, yet everything is forming, when the seed is buried and no evidence exists, when all activity seems to have stopped, but divine movement is most intense. And it is in this hour, the hour of mystery, the hour of darkness, that the law listens more closely than ever. Because in silence, your true belief rises. In stillness, your real decree speaks. And what you speak in this quiet, hidden hour becomes the architecture of your morning. It is no coincidence that Scripture says, "At midnight a cry was heard." Matthew 25:6. Midnight is not just a time, it is a metaphor. It is the point where delay turns to fulfillment. It is the spiritual pivot between hidden and seen. And at midnight, the cry that is heard is not noise. It is command. It is faith spoken without sight. It is truth declared in the face of nothing. It is the spiritual substance that pierces the invisible and brings forth the visible. That cry was not random. It was timed. It was lawful. Because midnight is when the unseen is stirred by the word. So I ask you, what do you say when you lie in bed and your mind spins? What do you say when the phone goes silent and the bank app shows red and no answers arrive? What do you say in the middle of the night, when no one will judge you, when no one will catch you, when you believe your speech is private and exempt from consequence? Because that is where the next version of your life is being built, not in your public affirmations, but in your private whispers. The law of the middle of the night says this: what you say in the dark decides what shows up in the light, not just because it's poetic, but because the subconscious is most open, most impressionable, most creative in stillness. This is why so many repeat their patterns even after making conscious declarations, because the subconscious still obeys the midnight monologue. Let that change now. Let this be the shift. From this night forward, your silence becomes sacred. Your whispers become aligned, and your word becomes the prophecy of your next sunrise. And so it is. There is a sound that rises in the soul when the lights go off and the world goes quiet. It is not always audible. It doesn't come from the mouth, but it floods the mind. It's the sound of panic rehearsing possibilities. It's the sound of fear replaying memories. It's the sound of dread forecasting what might go wrong. That is the night cry. And if you do not override it, it will write your next day before it ever begins. Because even in the hours when you appear to be resting, the subconscious remains alert. It listens. It absorbs. It takes those anxious mental loops as instruction. And it begins creating in silence what you never would have chosen in light. So what do you do when insomnia grips your chest? What do you say when panic rises like a flood in the middle of the night? What words are you to speak when you feel powerless, eyes wide open, mind racing, body tight with tension? You override. You do not echo the fear. You do not analyze the worry. You do not narrate your helplessness. You override the cry with command, and not the kind of command that shouts, but the kind that knows, the kind that speaks not from force, but from certainty. Say this now, with the tone of someone who will no longer surrender their subconscious to fear's programming. I rest under divine protection and perfect timing. Again, slowly, like a lullaby of power. I rest under divine protection and perfect timing. These are not just pretty words. These are alignment codes. These are spiritual instructions sent directly to the realm where your next form is being built. You are no longer letting fear write blueprints in your sleep. You are no longer letting shame narrate your tomorrows while your conscious mind is offline. You are replacing the loop. You are telling the night who is in charge, and the night must obey. Let this become your new sleep ritual, not scrolling, not worrying, not rehearsing arguments, but installing truth. Repeat the words that build. Speak declarations that soothe and command. Even if the mind says nothing is changing, the subconscious receives the repetition. It believes the voice it hears most, and in the dark, with no distraction, it becomes even more responsive to what you say. So do not waste the sacred hours of stillness on thoughts that don't serve you. Override them, interrupt them, replace them, not just once, but over and over again, until the night becomes your servant and not your enemy. Speak softly if you must, but speak. Declare peace. Declare safety. Declare divine order. If the thought says, "What if it all falls apart?" you answer with, "I am divinely held in every detail." If the thought says, "You can't afford this," you reply, "All my needs are met under grace and in perfect ways." If the thought says, "It's too late," you answer, "Time bows to divine law. I am always on time." You are not too tired to speak. You are too powerful to stay silent. Let the cry of the night be overridden now. Let the voice of spirit rise higher than the noise of fear. Say it once more as your final word before sleep, your banner over the dream realm. I rest under divine protection and perfect timing, and the law will receive that sentence, and your tomorrow will obey, and so it is. Some of the most dangerous forces shaping your life are not outer enemies. They are inner agreements, quiet ones, whispered ones, agreements you never consciously made, but silently adopted in the heat of fear, fatigue, or generational programming. These are not always loud beliefs. They are subtle. They hide in your tone, in your hesitation, in your self-talk, in the private sentences you never dared to say aloud. They shape how quickly you act, how boldly you ask, how much good you will actually allow. They are the invisible saboteurs that sit in the subconscious, undetected, scripting cycles. But I speak to that now, not with judgment, but with authority. You are not bound to what you once agreed with in fear. You are free to revoke it, and you must. You must identify the inner confessions that have been shaping your outer condition. The whispered sentences you said in a moment of disappointment. The things you repeated after a parent who didn't know better. The mantras you murmured in heartbreak. The labels you accepted from rejection. These things do not live in your conscious mind. They lurk below. They do not speak in paragraphs. They breathe in fragments. I'm not the type of person who... That's just not in the cards for me. People like me don't. It always ends like this. You never meant to build a home for those words, but you did. You repeated them long enough that the subconscious made space for them. But now you must cleanse the temple, not with shame, not with regret, but with divine fire. Say this now with the gravity of a soul reclaiming its structure. I renounce every whispered limitation. Again, like you're tearing up an old contract, I renounce every whispered limitation. These are not just words, they are evictions. You are no longer the host of hidden sabotage. You are no longer the quiet partner in a false belief. You are no longer living by internalized ceilings that spirit never gave you. I renounce every whispered limitation. That phrase becomes the broom, the sword, the wind that clears the dust of decades. You do not need to know exactly where the lie came from. You only need to know it no longer belongs. Now, close your eyes and see it. In your mind's eye, picture a table. Upon it are sheets of paper, each one holding a sentence you've spoken in fear, inherited words, cultural curses, scarcity scripts, lines like, I'm not smart enough. It's too late for me. I'll always struggle. I'm not worthy of wealth. Now watch as a flame appears, not harsh, not chaotic, but holy, gold, violet, glowing from within. And with each breath, the fire consumes the page. The words shrivel, fade, disappear. You do not cling. You do not plead. You let them burn. They were never yours. You were never meant to carry them. This is the fire of spiritual reprogramming, and it leaves no ash behind. As the fire clears, see a new inscription appear, not written by trauma, not spoken by fear, but engraved by divine mind. I speak only what aligns with truth. I am the vessel of sacred instruction. My subconscious obeys only what serves. Let these words take root where the weeds once were. Let them resound louder than the lies. Let your silence now be filled with holiness. Let your inner monologue become a sanctuary. Because the saboteur has been evicted, and only truth lives here now. Say it once more. I renounce every whispered limitation. And so it is. There is a moment in every day, every season, every soul's unfolding, when all the noise fades and silence stretches before you like a mirror. And for most, that silence feels like discomfort. It feels like lack. It feels like something is missing. So we fill it with worry, with replayed conversations, with loops of doubt dressed as thinking. But I challenge you now, stop filling silence with fear. Stop pouring worry into the gaps where spirit was ready to speak. Stop narrating doom just because no one else is talking. Silence is not your enemy. Silence is not a void. Silence is the throne room of spiritual instruction. You must retrain yourself to see stillness not as emptiness, but as readiness. The silence is not absence. It is presence waiting to respond. And the only voice that should break that stillness is the one that knows who it is and what it commands. When all is still, you do not panic. You prophesy. You do not fill the space with guessing. You fill it with decree. Because the silence is not empty air, it is sacred canvas, and your word paints the future upon it. So when the moment comes, when the room goes quiet, when the phone doesn't ring, when no answer appears, don't fill it with noise. Don't reach for distraction. Don't go hunting for someone else's voice to break the stillness. Speak, not as a beggar, not as a victim, as a creator, as a vessel of divine authority. Stand in that silence like it's a courtroom and the verdict depends on your tongue. Stand in that stillness like it's holy ground. And say this with me now, not as poetry, but as law. Peace obeys my voice. Again, stronger. Peace obeys my voice. You are not the echo. You are the origin. You are not reacting to the quiet. You are shaping what comes next. Speak into the stillness as if the entire atmosphere is leaning in to obey. Because it is. Speak healing. Speak money. Speak direction. Speak love. Speak strength. Speak restoration. Not after the chaos ends, but right into the center of it. Your voice carries weight when no one else is speaking. Your decree becomes architecture when the ground is bare. So the next time it's quiet, when the world doesn't seem to answer you, when heaven seems silent, when you feel suspended in delay, don't narrate confusion. Don't speak doubt. Don't panic into old scripts. Step forward, open your mouth, and say, "Peace obeys my voice." Because you do not wait for evidence, you create it. And so it is. Now we speak again, not to repeat, but to reinforce, not to inspire emotion, but to imprint divine rhythm into the subconscious. These are not just affirmations, they are activations. They are sacred decrees that recalibrate your inner temple, reroute old programming, and replace subconscious sabotage with spiritual sovereignty. Every word you speak now becomes law in the realm of the unseen, forming the outcomes that will soon walk into view. So speak them not as a request, but as a ruler. Say this with me now, slow and steady, as one who no longer fears the silence. My quiet is filled with sacred decree. Again, as if the walls of your mind are listening, and they are. My quiet is filled with sacred decree. No more wasting stillness. No more using silence as a dumping ground for fear. From this moment forward, every pause becomes a platform. Every moment of stillness becomes a sanctuary where truth is spoken and form is built. My quiet is filled with sacred decree. Now speak your hierarchy. Place your soul back in command. Say this with full knowing. I am not ruled by feelings. I am ruled by truth. Once more, like you are shaking the foundation of old patterns, I am not ruled by feelings. I am ruled by truth. Your feelings are visitors. They do not sit on the throne. They do not draft your future. They do not write your story. They pass through, but they do not remain. And while they come and go, your word stands eternal. I am not ruled by feelings. I am ruled by truth. Now speak from the midnight hour, not as a victim of darkness, but as a voice of light. Say this, my midnight words create my daylight reward. Again, not softly, but as prophecy. My midnight words create my daylight reward. Because what you speak when the world is quiet becomes what the world must reflect. Your reward does not begin with your labor. It begins with your language. What you speak at night becomes what you wake up to next. You are no longer wandering in circles. You are speaking in straight lines toward divine result. My midnight words create my daylight reward. And now, close this round with the final seal, the vow that ends all wavering. Say it now with full alignment. I speak only from faith, never from fear. Again, like it is being etched into the gates of your mind. I speak only from faith, never from fear. No more double-mindedness, no more mixture, no more praying in faith and muttering in doubt. From this breath forward, your word belongs to the kingdom, not to chaos. Your speech is sanctuary. Your voice is vision. Your decree is clean. Let these affirmations anchor you. Let them echo through your day. Let them travel with you into night, because you no longer speak to survive. You speak to create. And so it is. Will you speak light in your next dark hour? Will you remember that your voice is not a decoration, not a ritual, but a spiritual technology that governs form? Will you remember when the feeling returns, when the fear rises, when the room is silent and no one sees, that heaven still hears, that the subconscious still records, that the law still obeys? This is your invitation, not to inspiration, but to dominion, to become a keeper of your own atmosphere, to become a watchman over your own tongue, to turn midnight from a place of collapse into a place of command. Because now you know, now you're accountable. You cannot pretend you don't understand how the dark works. You cannot go back to muttering curses and wondering why nothing grows. From this moment forward, you speak as one who knows, one who understands that the words spoken in the quiet carry more power than the speeches shouted from stages. One who understands that midnight is a portal, and your decree is what determines what steps through it. So I ask you now, not gently, but with fire, will you speak light in your next dark hour? Will you catch yourself before the old phrase repeats? Will you replace the sigh with a sentence of sovereignty? Will you say, not in theory, but in truth, midnight obeys my word? If you're ready to mark that shift in sound and in scroll, comment it now and say it out loud as you type it. Midnight obeys my word, because it does. And now, so do you. And so it is. Everything in your life right now, every condition, every relationship, every dollar, every delay, every breakthrough, exists not because of random events, not because of luck, not because of circumstances beyond your control. It exists because of structure. And the structure beneath it all is built by one thing, your word. Words are not decorations. They are architectural instructions in the invisible. Every sentence you speak becomes scaffolding. Every repeated phrase becomes a beam, a wall, a door. And over time, the world you move through is not the world handed to you by fate. It is the house constructed by your vocabulary. This is not metaphor. It is law, divine law, and Scripture reveals it plainly, without need for interpretation or theological gymnastics. By faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the Word of God. Hebrews 11:3. Worlds, plural. Not just galaxies, not just cosmic spheres, but personal dimensions, life realms, outcomes, experiences. Framed, built, designed, shaped, supported by the Word. That same divine pattern is active in you. Your word frames your world. It outlines what is allowed. It defines what enters. It determines what takes form. You are the builder, not of your emotions, but of your environment. And you build it not with money, not with effort, not with time, but with utterance. You say, I can't take any more, and the structure of collapse begins to rise. You say, it's always something, and the structure of chaos begins to shape itself around you. You say, I never catch a break, and the blueprints adjust to accommodate the next delay. You may not see it instantly, but law is never lazy. The foundation is being poured in the unseen. But here is the miracle. You can rebuild. You can halt the old construction with one conscious declaration. You can issue a new design, even if the old one has been under construction for years. The spiritual realm responds not to time, but to alignment. And the moment you change your speech, the architecture begins to shift. You don't have to fix the past. You just have to stop reinforcing it. Tear down the old walls with silence. Raise new ones with truth. Say this now, not as an idea, but as instruction to your atmosphere. My word frames my world. Again, stronger. My word frames my world. And then ask yourself, what have I been building? A sanctuary or a prison? A palace of overflow or a cage of limitation? Have my phrases created doors or walls? Let this be your blueprint shift, from careless speech to conscious structure, from emotional release to spiritual decree, because the next version of your life is waiting on your next sentence. Build wisely, speak lawfully, frame what you actually want to live in. And so it is. You are not just the actor in the movie of your life. You are the narrator. You are the one who overlays the scenes with meaning, with language, with prophecy. And I ask you now, what have you been narrating? What captions have you placed over your circumstances? What inner monologue have you let play on repeat while you walk through your days? Because many of you are not just going through difficulty, you are narrating yourself deeper into it. You are voicing defeat before it fully arrives. You are calling lack your identity. You are giving confusion.
Welcome, beautiful soul. You're about to step into a space of deep alignment, peace and power, a space where abundance is your birthright and prosperity flows to you with ease. As you listen to these affirmations, allow yourself to relax, breathe deeply, and open your heart to receive. This is your sacred time, a time to remember who you are, a time to reconnect with the infinite source of wealth that already lives within you. There is no need to force, chase, or struggle. Abundance responds to belief. And today you choose to believe that you are worthy, worthy of financial freedom, worthy of overflow, worthy of a life where money supports your dreams, your peace, and your purpose. With each word you hear, let your mind become clearer, your energy lighter, and your spirit more aligned. You are not here to survive. You are here to thrive, to attract wealth with wisdom, receive with joy, to give with a full heart. Now, gently close your eyes, or keep them soft and focused, and allow the affirmations that follow to pour into your being like warm sunlight. These are not just words, they are seeds of truth. And today, you are planting the energy of wealth, success, and limitless prosperity in your life. You are safe, you are guided, you are ready. Let's begin. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it go. Allow yourself to settle up to softening to receive. This is your time, a sacred space to remember your truth, that you are worthy. You have always been worthy. You are enough. You are more than enough. There is nothing you need to prove to receive love or money or blessings. You were born deserving, you were born whole, and now you allow yourself to return to that knowing. I am worthy of abundance. I am worthy of a life that feels good. I am worthy of being paid well, treated well, and supported well. I am worthy of more than survival. I am worthy of overflow. You are valuable, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. You don't have to hustle for your worth. You don't have to beg for what already belongs to you. I am allowed to be rich. I am allowed to live in comfort. I am allowed to succeed with grace. I am allowed to rise. You were not created for lack. You were created to shine, to thrive, to expand. You are not a burden. You are a blessing. You are not behind. You are right on time. I forgive myself for the times I doubted my value. I release all shame around receiving. I let go of guilt and I step into grace. It is safe for me to receive. It is safe for me to shine. It is safe for me to have more than enough. Every part of you is worthy. Every breath you take is sacred. Every dream you carry matters. And now money begins to respond to your worthiness. I am loved. I am enough. I am worthy of a life that reflects the truth of who I am. You do not need to shrink. You do not need to wait for permission. You are already enough to receive. You are already enough to prosper. You are already enough to walk boldly in the direction of your dreams. I honor my worth. I believe in my value. I stand in the knowing that I am meant for more, and I welcome more with open arms. You are whole. You are ready. You are enough. Let this truth echo through you. Let it soften your doubts. Let it melt the old stories. Let it plant new roots of wealth and peace. I am worthy. You are worthy. We are worthy. Breathe in softly, and as you exhale, imagine yourself opening your hands, your heart, your energy. There is nothing to force. You are not here to chase. You are here to allow, to receive, to remember that money is not something separate from you. It is something that wants to come to you. I am open to receive. I allow money to flow to me with ease. I do not block it. I do not fear it. I let in. You let in. You don't have to earn your right to receive. You don't have to be perfect to be provided for. You are worthy here and now. Money flows where it is welcomed. And today, you welcome it with peace, with stillness, with joy. I receive with gratitude. I receive with trust. I receive with a heart that knows it's safe to receive. You were not made to suffer for abundance. You were not born to struggle endlessly. The energy of money does not respond to tension. It responds to openness, to gratitude. To joy, I open my arms to abundance. I soften into the stream of prosperity. I trust that good things want to come to me. I do not need to hold tight to what I have. There is more. There is always more. More is on its way. You are allowed to receive. You are allowed to feel ease. You are allowed to be supported by life. I don't chase. I attract. I don't beg, receive. I trust. Let this become your truth. Let it sink into your body like sunlight on your skin. You are a powerful receiver. You are made to hold abundance, to enjoy it, to fellow with it. I am worthy of receiving more than I imagined. I am ready for unexpected miracles. I am prepared to be surprised by how easy it can be. I am not afraid to have more. You are not too much. Your dreams are not too big. Your desires are not selfish. Receiving is your divine right. I receive money, love, peace, and ease in every form. I receive gifts, promotions, ideas, and support. I receive with a grateful heart and a calm spirit. I receive because I am aligned. I receive because I believe. Today you say yes. Yes to flow. Yes to grace. Yes to receiving fully, gently, joyfully. I allow money to come to me. I allow good things to find me. I allow myself to be fully provided for because I am ready, because I am willing, because I am open. Take a moment to feel your feet on the ground. Feel the strength within you. Feel the quiet knowing that you are capable, that you are growing, that you are becoming a master of your money. You are not afraid of money. You are not confused by it. You are learning. You are rising. Every day your confidence grows. Your clarity deepens. Every day you trust yourself more and more. I am wise with money. I am grounded in my financial power. I make decisions that build my future. I no longer avoid my finances. I face them with courage. You are allowed to be confident with money. You are allowed to feel good when you look at your bank account. You are allowed to trust yourself with every dollar. Money doesn't control you. You are in control. You are in alignment. You are in flow. I am learning. I am growing. I am mastering the language of wealth. Every step I take builds stronger foundations. I am not behind. I am exactly where I need to be. You can manage your money. You can multiply your income. You can build wealth that lasts. No matter where you've been, you can begin again with wisdom and grace. I choose to be financially intelligent. I pay attention with love, not fear. I track, I plan, I protect, I grow. I respect my money, and it respects me in return. You are no longer overwhelmed. You are no longer confused. You are clear, capable. You are becoming the steward of abundance. I trust my instincts. I learn from my experiences. I ask questions. I find answers. I know how to make money work for me. You are no longer led by fear. You are led by wisdom. You are led by intention. You are led by belief in yourself. I am powerful with money. I am strategic, calm, and prepared. I do not fear bills. I manage them with peace. I do not fear investment. I move with discernment and courage. I do not fear wealth. I expand with integrity and grace. Each dollar I receive is a tool. Each dollar I spend is a choice. Each dollar I save is a seed. Each dollar I invest is a declaration. I am building something meaningful. I am building something lasting. You are not just earning money. You are mastering it. You are not just surviving. You are creating legacy. You are not just dreaming. You are doing. I believe in myself. I trust myself with wealth. I am confident. I am clear and strong. I am financially powerful. Take a gentle breath in and exhale into ease. Now imagine more than enough. Not just enough to get big, but more than enough to give, to rest, to live fully. You are not meant to live in limitation. You are made for overflow. Overflow is your natural state. You are not created to always worry. You are not designed to always stretch and scrape. You are here to receive in fullness, to live in the beauty of more, to have enough to keep and still be able to give. I am living in overflow. I am surrounded by more than enough. I am open to the abundance that pours into my life. You don't need to hold tight in fear anymore. You don't have to shrink to feel safe. You don't have to choose between your needs and your dreams. There is room, both is enough for all. I receive so much that I have plenty to share. My blessings multiply when I give from the overflow. I give with joy and I receive with grace. You are generous by nature. You are kind with your wealth, and that kindness keeps the doors of abundance wide open. The more you give, the more you receive. The more you release, the more that returns. I give with a grateful heart. I bless others without fear of lack. I know the source is infinite, and I am always provided for. You are not just attracting money. You are attracting peace, freedom, joy, the ability to say yes without worry, the ability to rest, to help, to uplift. I have enough. I am enough. I give from wholeness, not from depletion. You are stepping into a season of abundance where you will no longer ask, "Can I afford this?" Instead, you will ask, "Who can I bless today?" You will give with ease and still have more than enough left over. That is the power of overflow. That is the beauty of a generous life. My wealth grows in every direction. I have an abundant heart and an abundant life. I share freely, and I always receive more. I trust the cycle of giving and receiving. You're not holding too much. You are holding what is meant for you, and you're sharing from a place of joy, not obligation. This is wealth with meaning. This is abundance with love. I live in overflow. I share from overflow. I love from overflow, and I thrive in the joy of having more than enough. Take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. You are stepping into expansion, into possibility, into a world where new doors open with ease. You don't have to search desperately. You don't have to beg the world for a chance. Opportunities are already finding you. The path is already being prepared. I am a magnet for aligned opportunities. I attract new sources of income with grace. I say yes to growth, to expansion, to abundance. You don't need to force your way forward. You are walking with purpose. You are guided. You are supported. The right people, the right timing, the right ideas are all being drawn to your light. You are ready. You are qualified. You are enough. And what's meant for you will not miss you. I trust that opportunities are unfolding for my highest good. Every idea is a seed. Every connection is a doorway. Every step is progress. Money comes to me through many channels, not just one, not just a job, but through gifts, ideas, creativity, and flow. You are not stuck. You are not limited. There are so many ways for abundance to find you. You are opening now. To the clients, to projects, to the businesses, to the blessings. I welcome new income streams. I allow money to flow from unexpected places. I release the need to control how it comes. I trust that it will come. You don't have to chase success. You are becoming it. You are building it with every belief, with every intention, with every action led by faith. I am prepared for expansion. I am open to increase. I am willing to grow. You are not behind. You are rising. You are blooming in your own season. And your season is now. New opportunities are finding me every day. I take inspired action and abundance follows. I walk through open doors with confidence and peace. I trust that I am on the right path. You are attracting success that aligns with your soul. You are welcoming work that lights you up. You are calling in compensation that honors your time, talent, and value. I am growing. I am elevating. I am becoming more prosperous with every breath. You are no longer doubting if things will happen. You are now declaring, it is already happening. It is happening because you are ready, because you are available, because you are aligned. I receive new streams of income. I say yes to opportunities that support my purpose. I follow the flow and trust where it leads. Close your eyes gently, feel the stillness, feel the peace. Let your breath become a soft rhythm. A reminder that you are already connected, already enough, already abundant. Wealth is not something outside of you. It is something you are becoming. It is something you already are. I don't chase wealth, I embody it. I don't wait for abundance if I live from it. I don't force it, I flow with it. You are not becoming rich. You are remembering that you already are. Wealth is a way of thinking, a way of seeing, a way of being. I walk with wealth in my mind, in my heart, in my presence. I carry abundance in how I speak, how I give, how I live. You are not pretending to be abundant. You are practicing the truth. You are aligning with the vibration of overflow. You are stepping into a reality where prosperity is natural, peaceful, and constant. I think like a wealthy person. I act like a prosperous soul. I speak from a place of fullness. My life reflects the wealth within me. Wealth is not just money in the bank. It is calm in your heart. It is confidence in your choices. It is freedom in your time. It is joy in your giving. You are allowed to feel rich now. You are allowed to embody success today. You don't have to wait until you arrive. You are already walking in abundance. I am abundance in motion. I am wealth in spirit. I am the vibration of prosperity. You rise with grace. You move with certainty. You live with intention. Because abundance is who you are, not just what you have. I align my thoughts with wealth. I align my actions with growth. I align my being with overflow. You are no longer hoping for abundance. You are expecting it. You are no longer wishing for wealth. You are welcoming it. You are no longer wondering if it's possible. You are witnessing it unfold in you. I radiate prosperity. I live from fullness. I walk in abundance. This is your new normal, a wealthy mindset, a peaceful heart, an abundant life. You don't have to earn your right to live in overflow. You already carry the energy of expansion. Every breath you take in belief and multiplies your wealth from the inside out. I am the source, I am the magnet, I am the vessel of divine abundance. And I live in wealth, because wealth is who I am. And now, as you carry this energy of abundance forward, remember, this wealth is peace. This power bit's already within you. You don't need to chase what you already are. Every time you breathe in belief and exhale fear, you expand your capacity to receive. Let this be your new rhythm. Let this be your new reality. Abundance is not something you visit. It's something you live. And if this session reminded you of your worth, your power, or your vision for a wealthy life, share that energy with the world. Leave a comment below with the words, I am A.B. Yundansi, declare it. Claim it, align with it. Because when you speak it, you become it. And you inspire others to rise too. Let me know how this touched your heart. Your words matter here. You are not alone on this journey. We rise together.
There is a law, immutable and unchanging, which governs the seen and the unseen. It is the law of the word. For the spoken word carries within it the seed of its own fulfillment. Words are not mere sounds, nor idle expressions. They are containers of power, messengers of thought, vibrations that go out into the universe and return multiplied. Many do not realize that their lips hold the keys to their fortune, and that the very syllables they speak write the script of their destiny. What is often called luck is but the harvest of seeds sown in consciousness, watered by faith and ripened by divine timing. I stood once in the very silence of expectancy. It seemed that everything I desired had been withheld. Yet I knew in my heart there was no withholding, only a waiting upon the right word, spoken in alignment with the infinite. The lottery of life does not begin with tickets or numbers, but with belief, conviction, and the precision of speech. For the tongue is both a rudder and a magnet. It directs the ship and attracts the cargo. In that hour, I did not argue with appearances. I did not bow to the testimony of lack or limitation. Instead, I turned inward and remembered that every word spoken in faith moves upon the substance of the unseen and shapes it into form. I asked myself, what 3 words will open the gates of abundance? What phrase will align me with the inexhaustible storehouse of good? And with unshakable calm, I spoke them aloud, not once, but with the authority of one who knows that the universe is always listening. It was not the multitude of words that mattered. It was not long prayers or elaborate affirmations. It was the simplicity of truth spoken with certainty. 3 words, small as a pebble cast into the pond of spirit. Yet they set in motion ripples that touched every corner of my life. The very next moment, doors opened, channels widened, and fortune flowed in like a mighty river released from its dam. And it was so astonishing that the world called it winning the lottery. But I knew it was not chance, nor accident, nor blind fortune. It was law. The same law that declares, by thy words thou shalt be justified. The same law that makes no distinction between great things and small things, but simply mirrors back to the speaker the exact vibration they send forth. For when the word is spoken with faith, it pierces the veil of appearances and summons the reality already waiting in the invisible. Those 3 words were a key. They unlocked what was already mine in the realm of spirit, waiting only for my recognition and acceptance. It was not a question of worthiness, nor of effort, but of alignment. The treasure house was always full, yet it required the right word, spoken with power, to swing open the gates and let the riches pour forth. The spoken word is the mightiest instrument given to humankind, for it is both seed and sword, both creator and destroyer. When one understands that every utterance carries with it an imprint of power, one becomes vigilant of speech and begins to see the tongue not as a casual tool, but as the very brush that paints the canvas of life. The creative power of the spoken word lies in its ability to vibrate through the invisible substance that surrounds us, substance that is ever pliable, ever responsive, and ever ready to take form according to the command it receives. The ancient declaration, "Let there be light," was not a suggestion or a timid request. It was a decree spoken with absolute authority, and light appeared. This is the law at work, a law that responds not to hesitation or fear, but to words aligned with certainty, conviction, and divine recognition. Many go through life speaking words of lack, sickness, failure, and limitation, and then wonder why such conditions appear and multiply. The world is merely a mirror reflecting the vibration sent forth. When one says, "I cannot," the universe obeys and closes the door. When one says, "I can," the universe sets into motion unseen forces to bring the statement to pass. It is not the world that binds the individual. It is the words the individual speaks into the ethers, charged with belief, that shape chains or wings. Words are seeds, and each seed brings forth fruit after its kind. To speak carelessly is to scatter weeds, but to speak with intention is to sow a garden of plenty. The creative power of the spoken word is not confined to grand declarations or dramatic affirmations. Even the smallest phrase, spoken with faith, carries a force that ripples through the unseen. A whisper can be as mighty as a shout, if it is spoken with the authority of inner knowing. It is not volume but vibration that matters. A child who declares with innocence and belief, "Tomorrow will be wonderful," has already set in motion currents that bring joy into that tomorrow. The principle is impartial. It does not weigh the status, the age, or the circumstance of the speaker. It simply mirrors the belief clothed in sound. To understand the power of the spoken word is to recognize that speech is never idle. Every utterance is recorded in the substance of spirit and returned to the sender in due time. The careless joke, the word of fear, the sigh of despair, these are not forgotten echoes, they are living seeds waiting to bear fruit. So too are the words of faith, love, abundance, and health. When spoken persistently and with trust, they gather momentum until they become visible in the affairs of life. The spoken word is creative because it moves beyond thought and enters into action. A thought unspoken may linger in the realm of possibility, but once spoken, it has crossed the threshold into command. The lips give form to the invisible, and the invisible shapes itself to fulfill the decree. The creative word is strengthened by imagination and belief. To speak without conviction is to scatter seeds upon stone, but to speak with inner vision is to plant deeply in fertile ground. One who declares prosperity while secretly imagining poverty will reap confusion, for the soil is divided. But one who speaks prosperity while inwardly picturing abundance aligns thought, word, and vision into a single powerful channel, and manifestation follows swiftly. The word, when backed by unwavering belief, cuts through obstacles as though they were mist. For the unseen world rearranges itself to honor the authority of faith. Consider the power of blessing. To bless another with words of goodwill is to release streams of unseen substance toward them. Substance that must find its mark and return multiplied to the sender. To curse is equally potent, though destructive. This is why wise ones guard the tongue, for with it we may build kingdoms of joy or prisons of despair. Words are not to be taken lightly, for they are spiritual decrees dressed in syllables. The more consciously one chooses words, the more consciously one chooses the experiences that follow. There are countless stories of those who have transformed their lives through speech. A man once impoverished began declaring daily, "I am rich in every way," until his consciousness shifted and opportunities appeared that lifted him into abundance. A woman who suffered from long illness affirmed, "Every cell of my body radiates health," until vitality returned and her body aligned with her spoken decree. These were not miracles of chance. They were the lawful outworking of words spoken with faith and persistence. The spoken word must be aligned with truth, for truth carries the vibration of eternity. Empty boasting or vain repetition carries little weight, but words spoken from the deep well of spiritual recognition move mountains. To say, "I am guided," when one believes in divine order, is to summon guidance unfailingly. To say, "I am loved," when one knows the universe is love, is to attract affection and harmony. The word is a creative key, but it must fit the lock of belief. Spoken with alignment, it opens every door. The law is impartial. It does not recognize whether one speaks in jest, in anger, or in sincerity. It simply sets into motion the vibration of what is spoken. This is why vigilance is required. Many sow defeat with their own lips, saying, "Nothing ever works out for me," Or, I always fail, and then they marvel at the consistency of their failure. Yet the law has only obeyed. To shift the harvest, one must shift the seed. And that begins with the conscious use of speech. By replacing words of lack with words of plenty, words of fear with words of courage, words of sickness with words of health, the entire garden of life transforms. The creative power of the spoken word is the foundation of prayer, affirmation, and declaration. Prayer is not pleading with a distant deity, but aligning with the truth through word. Affirmation is not wishful thinking, but the steady planting of seeds of reality. Declaration is not arrogance, but recognition of one's rightful inheritance. Each word spoken in alignment with divine law is a hammer that shapes substance into form. The universe itself is built upon vibration, and words are vibrations sent forth consciously. Faith is the invisible force that draws to itself the visible form of whatever is believed. It is the magnet of supply, the unseen current that pulls forth from the vast reservoir of spirit the very thing the heart has claimed. When faith is unwavering, it acts like a beacon, a light that cannot be hidden, calling unto itself every circumstance, person, and event required for its fulfillment. It does not matter if appearances shout the opposite, for faith does not measure by appearances. Faith sees only the outcome and rests in certainty that the supply is already given, waiting only to take form in the visible world. It is the bridge between the invisible and the tangible, between desire and demonstration. Without faith, words are hollow and actions are weak, but with faith, even the smallest word, the smallest gesture, becomes charged with creative fire. The magnetism of faith is subtle but unstoppable. It does not strive, it does not struggle, it does not push. It simply attracts, as surely as a magnet draws iron filings. This attraction is not accidental, it is law. What one believes with conviction must appear. For the substance of the universe responds to belief as naturally as water responds to gravity. Many imagine faith to be a vague hope, a desperate clinging, but true faith is calm, assured, immovable. It knows that what is asked for in spirit is already received, and it waits in serenity until the form appears. Just as a farmer plants seed in the earth and waits with trust for the harvest, so does faith plant words and images into the unseen and wait for them to blossom into form. Faith as the magnet of supply explains why two people in identical circumstances can have entirely different outcomes. One may declare prosperity with faith and watch doors swing wide, while another may repeat the same words with doubt and see nothing change. It is not the words alone, but the faith behind them that charges them with power. A declaration without faith is like a magnet without charge, unable to attract. But a declaration spoken with faith draws supply as though the universe itself bends to deliver it. Faith is the current that gives vitality to every affirmation, the energy that carries words into manifestation. When faith is strong, obstacles dissolve, for they cannot withstand the vibration of certainty. A person of faith does not waste energy fighting shadows of doubt or mountains of impossibility. They simply stand in their conviction, and circumstances rearrange themselves to clear the way. This is not struggle, but alignment. Faith does not conquer by force but by attraction, drawing to itself the right people, the right opportunities, the right timing, as naturally as night gives way to dawn. Faith knows that supply is already present, though hidden, and that it will reveal itself when called forth by the magnetism of belief. Faith operates beyond logic, beyond what the senses can confirm. The senses may insist there is lack, that the purse is empty, that the cupboard is bare, but faith declares, "My supply is infinite," and holds to that truth until the evidence shifts. To those without faith, such a stance seems foolish. But the faithful know that appearances are but shadows, temporary reflections of past belief. To persist in faith is to rewrite the future. For faith plants new seeds in the soil of the unseen, and those seeds must bear fruit in time. Faith is not blind, though the world calls it so. It sees deeper than the eye, it perceives the eternal reality that the physical eye cannot yet grasp. Faith and fear are opposite magnets. Faith draws supply, fear repels it. When one fears loss, the loss comes. When one fears failure, failure appears. Fear is faith turned upside down. Faith in the wrong outcome. The same law operates, but the polarity is reversed. To shift from fear to faith is to reverse the magnet. To turn the current toward good instead of evil, toward abundance instead of lack. This shift may seem small in thought, but it is monumental in effect. The moment faith is chosen over fear, the magnet begins to draw supply instead of scarcity. Faith does not waver with delay. Delay is often mistaken for denial, but faith knows better. Just as a seed takes time to germinate beneath the soil, so too does the word of faith take time to unfold into visible reality. The one with faith does not dig up the seed in impatience, nor declare that nothing is happening. They trust the unseen process and wait with assurance. This patience is not passive, it is active expectancy. A confident waiting that continues to declare the outcome as already done. In this way, faith strengthens itself, and its magnetic power increases with every day of steadfast belief. Supply responds to faith, because supply is infinite, ever-present, and waiting for recognition. Lack is but the illusion of unclaimed supply. When faith declares, "I receive," it is not creating supply from nothing. It is drawing into visibility that which already exists in the infinite storehouse. Faith aligns the speaker with abundance, and abundance must flow through the open channel. Just as water flows to the lowest point, so supply flows to the open heart of faith. The one who doubts blocks the channel, while the one who believes clears the way. The magnet of faith cannot fail, for it operates according to law, and law is impartial. There are those who can trace every success in their life to a moment of unshakable faith. Perhaps they had no money, no connections, no resources, yet they held to a single conviction that supply would come. And come it did, in ways unexpected and perfect, through channels unforeseen. The magnetism of their faith drew it forth. Others may toil and strive endlessly without faith, exhausting themselves yet achieving little, for their magnet is weak. Faith makes the impossible inevitable, for it bypasses struggle and goes straight to the source, attracting directly from the unseen. Faith as the magnet of supply is not limited to money or material things. It draws health, love, harmony, and success with equal power. Whatever is held in consciousness with faith becomes magnetized, and the universe is compelled to deliver it. To say, "I am whole," with faith is to draw health into the body. To say, "I am loved," with faith is to draw companionship into the heart. To say, "I succeed," with faith is to draw victory into every endeavor. The magnet does not discriminate, it draws whatever the faith commands. Simplicity is the secret language of the universe, for the greatest truths are never complicated. The power of creation does not depend upon long phrases, elaborate rituals, or ornate practices, but upon the pure, simple words spoken with belief. Complexity belongs to the restless mind, always striving, always layering, always doubting. Simplicity belongs to spirit, which knows the direct path and walks it without hesitation. To grasp simplicity is to see that a single affirmation can change a life, that 3 words spoken in faith can turn poverty into wealth, sickness into health, sorrow into joy. The mind often insists that something so small cannot yield such great results. Yet the law of life operates on the principle that the seed is always smaller than the tree. 1 acorn contains a forest. 1 drop contains the ocean. 1 word contains a destiny. Those who stumble are often those who complicate. They believe they must labor in thought, construct lengthy prayers, repeat formulas endlessly, and yet they remain weary and fruitless, because their focus has strayed from the essence. The law does not heed the length of speech, but the power behind it. A long prayer spoken in doubt may carry no weight at all, while a single word, uttered in certainty, can open the gates of abundance. The spirit responds not to the quantity of words but to their quality. Simplicity carries purity, and purity carries power. The universe listens to the vibration, not the decoration. Consider the child who speaks without doubt. A child will say, "Tomorrow will be happy," and the day bends to their decree. They do not stack phrases or reason their way into belief, they simply know. That is simplicity, and that is why the words of a child often manifest so quickly. Adults, trained in worry and burdened with analysis, lose this art. They dress the simple truth in robes of complexity until its essence is buried. To return to simplicity is to return to childlike faith, the place where words are arrows that never miss their mark, because they are shot straight from the heart. Simplicity is not weakness. It is concentrated strength. The simplest tools often accomplish the greatest works. Fire begins with a spark, not a blaze. Rivers begin with a spring, not a flood. Life begins with a single cell, not a multitude. In the same way, the spiritual word need not be wrapped in countless repetitions. It must simply be clear, direct, and infused with conviction. The simple statement, "I am," is among the most powerful, for it declares identity and aligns with the eternal truth of being. Anything added to "I am" is planted in the soil of consciousness and must grow. To say, "I am prosperous," with belief is to plant prosperity. To say, "I am strong," is to plant strength. These are not complicated formulas but simple seeds, and the simpler the seed, the more purely it grows. The mind, in its restlessness, often resists simplicity because it craves control. It whispers, "Surely more is needed. Surely a longer prayer, a greater effort, a more elaborate ritual." Yet the more one complicates, the further one drifts from the natural flow of spirit. The river does not struggle to find the sea, it follows the simple path of gravity. The flower does not toil to bloom, it simply unfolds in the sunlight. Spirit does not complicate, it expresses. And when we align with spirit, our words, too, must be simple, direct, and true. Simplicity has the power to cut through doubt, because it leaves no room for distraction. When one speaks a simple phrase, the mind cannot hide behind layers of reasoning. It must face the truth directly. To declare, "All is well," leaves no opening for argument. It is final, it is whole, it is complete. To declare, "I receive now," carries no confusion, it is present, it is certain, it is clear. The simplest words often have the greatest effect, because they strike the deepest chord in consciousness. They are not scattered across many directions but focused into one, and that focus becomes a laser that shapes reality. It is often in the moment of desperation that one discovers simplicity. A person burdened with long affirmations, endless strategies, and countless efforts may finally collapse into surrender and utter a single phrase from the depths of their being. In that moment of simplicity, the miracle occurs. Not because of the desperation, but because the layers of complexity fell away, and the word finally came forth in purity. The heart spoke, uncluttered, and the universe answered. Simplicity carries authority. The great leaders of spirit throughout time did not speak in elaborate words to move mountains, they spoke in simplicity. They said, "Be healed," and healing came. They said, "Rise," and the dead arose. They said, "Peace, be still," and the storm obeyed. These are not ornate incantations but direct, simple commands. The authority lies in the alignment with truth, not in the length of speech. The same authority lies within every person when they dare to speak with simplicity and faith. Simplicity liberates the speaker from doubt because it demands no proof, no reasoning, no explanation. A simple word stands on its own. To declare, "I am guided," does not require the mind to figure out how guidance will come. It simply acknowledges the fact. To say, "I am provided for," does not require knowing the channel of provision, it rests in the truth. Simplicity refuses to bargain with appearances. It declares what is and allows the law to do its work. In this way, simplicity is not only a method but a shield, protecting the heart from the endless chatter of the mind. Those who master simplicity live with a lightness unknown to the complicated. They do not waste energy on analysis or laborious prayers. Their words are few, but their manifestations are many. They speak only what is needed, and because it is spoken with clarity, it is done. They do not pile words to force the universe into action, they release words as keys, knowing each one opens a door. This is the secret of simplicity. It trusts the law to work without interference. The simple word is like the switch that turns on the light. The power was already present, the switch simply released it. Law, not luck. governs the universe, for nothing comes by chance. Every effect has its cause, and every cause is set in motion by thought, word, or deed. What the world calls luck is but the working of invisible law, impartial, exact, and unfailing. The gambler may believe he won by fortune. The merchant may think success arrived by coincidence, and the sick may call recovery an accident of nature. But behind all these is the immutable law that life mirrors the consciousness of the individual. When one understands this, life ceases to be a game of chance and becomes a field of certainty, where results are predictable according to the seed sown in word and belief. The belief in luck is the refuge of the uncertain mind. It clings to the idea that blessings arrive randomly, that some are chosen while others are forgotten. Yet the law shows no favoritism. It responds not to personality or circumstance but to vibration. Just as gravity pulls with the same force upon rich and poor, young and old, so does spiritual law respond equally to all. It is not luck that lifts one man into prosperity and leaves another in lack. It is the consciousness each carries and the words each has spoken into being. To attribute life's outcomes to luck is to ignore the very principle that governs them. When one says, "I am lucky," without understanding, they may stumble upon success temporarily, for even careless words carry some power. But when they speak with awareness, knowing that it is not luck but law that operates, their success becomes continuous. The one who depends upon chance wavers with every turn of circumstance, never secure, always waiting for the next stroke of fortune. The one who depends upon law stands firm, for they know that as they plant, so they will harvest. Their prosperity does not flicker like a candle in the wind, it burns steadily, fueled by the certainty of universal principle. To live by law is to understand that nothing is withheld and nothing is arbitrarily given. The storehouse of supply is infinite, and each individual has access to it through their words and beliefs. If one speaks lack, they withdraw from the storehouse. If one speaks abundance, they open the channel wide. The law is precise, like a mathematical equation. 2 + 2 will always equal 4, no matter who performs the calculation. Likewise, words spoken in faith will always draw their like result, no matter who speaks them. This is the order of the universe, unchanging and reliable. The idea of luck breeds passivity. Those who wait upon fortune delay their good, imagining that life must first choose them before blessings can arrive. Yet law requires no waiting, only alignment. The moment one speaks with authority and believes with conviction, the unseen currents move. Opportunities appear, doors open, supply flows. What others call luck is nothing more than the visible outworking of invisible law. To the one who understands, there is no mystery in it. They know why the result has come, for they remember the word they planted and the faith with which they nourished it. Law operates with impartial exactness. If one sows doubt, they reap uncertainty. If one sows fear, they reap loss. If one sows faith, they reap supply. The harvest never surprises the wise, for they recognize it as the mirror of their inner state. Those who call themselves unlucky are often those who have filled their speech with words of failure, defeat, and limitation. They have invoked the law unconsciously, and it has delivered faithfully according to their vibration. The remedy is not to beg for luck but to change the seed. By speaking new words, affirming new truths, holding new visions, the harvest is transformed. The strength of law is that it removes the element of chance from life. It places the power firmly in the hands of the individual. No longer does one need to wait upon fortune or fear misfortune. They can, through conscious speech and belief, direct the currents of life as surely as a sailor directs his vessel by the rudder. This is not arrogance, but recognition. The sailor does not create the wind, he aligns with it. The individual does not create the law, they align with it. And once aligned, the journey is steady and sure. Law, not luck, also explains why blessings sometimes appear through unexpected channels. A person may affirm abundance and suddenly receive it through a source they had never imagined. To the unknowing, this looks like luck, but to the wise, it is simply the law finding the nearest open channel. The universe is never limited in its ways of supply. The law requires only that faith declare the good, the form in which it arrives is secondary. One must therefore hold to the truth of law and release the need to dictate the channel. Luck seeks chance through one narrow doorway. Law finds supply through infinite avenues. Those who rely on luck are easily discouraged, for when fortune seems absent, they fall into despair. Those who rely on law are steadfast, for they know that even if appearances contradict, the law is already at work. They do not fear delay, for they understand that delay is not denial but preparation. They do not envy another's success, for they know that the same law operates for them as well. Their certainty creates peace, and their peace attracts even greater supply. The notion of luck is rooted in separation, the belief that one must wait to be chosen by an outside power. The truth of law is rooted in oneness, the knowledge that the same principle flows through all. To see life as governed by luck is to live as a beggar at the gates of chance. To see life as governed by law is to live as a rightful heir, claiming the inheritance already waiting in the storehouse of spirit. The choice is always before each individual, to drift with chance or to steer with law. Alignment unlocks abundance because abundance is not something to be chased, earned, or persuaded into being. It is already present, already flowing, already surrounding every life. Yet it remains unseen, untouched, and unused until one aligns with it through thought, word, and belief. Alignment is the tuning of consciousness to the vibration of supply, the harmonizing of the inner state with the outer good, just as a radio receives the broadcast only when turned to the proper frequency, so does the individual receive abundance only when attuned to its vibration. The signal is always present, but until alignment occurs, there is only static noise and silence. When alignment comes, clarity rushes in, and what seemed distant and rare is revealed to have been near all along. Abundance is the natural order, not scarcity. Scarcity is but the shadow cast when one is out of alignment with truth. Nature reveals this law in every corner. The trees bear fruit without strain. The rivers flow without end, the stars shine without depletion. There is no striving, no desperation, no worry in the universe itself, for it is aligned with its own source. Humanity alone falls into struggle by wandering from alignment, speaking words of lack, dwelling on images of limitation, and doubting the presence of supply. To return to alignment is to return to the effortless flow, where abundance comes not through striving but through allowing. Alignment begins with recognition. One must first know that abundance is real, inexhaustible, and divinely ordained. To deny abundance is to deny alignment itself. Recognition lifts the veil. For as soon as the mind accepts that there is supply, the channel begins to clear. The next step is speech. Words carry the vibration of belief, and when spoken in alignment with truth, they become keys that unlock unseen doors. To say, "I am provided for," is to align with the eternal provision of spirit. To say, "Everything I need is here now," is to tune into the ever-present flow. Alignment is not merely repeating words, but speaking them with conviction until they saturate the consciousness and displace every thought of lack. The heart, too, must be aligned. One cannot speak abundance and secretly harbor resentment, fear, or distrust. Such vibrations clash with the flow and create blockage. Gratitude is the harmonizer of the heart. A grateful spirit aligns instantly with abundance, for it sees the good already present and expects more to come. Gratitude transforms the smallest gift into evidence of limitless supply, and that evidence strengthens faith. When the heart beats with thankfulness, the doors of abundance swing wide, because gratitude is the language of alignment. Alignment also demands imagination. One must see themselves already living in the abundance they claim. To imagine lack while affirming supply is to live divided, and a divided house cannot stand. But to picture abundance with joy, to see oneself prospering, to feel the reality of it inwardly, is to align the creative faculties with the truth. The imagination is not fantasy but blueprint. It shapes the unseen substance into patterns that the law then fills with form. When imagination, speech, and belief are aligned, abundance has no choice but to manifest, for the signal is clear and undistorted. There are those who toil endlessly for abundance, chasing it as though it were a fleeing shadow. They labor, they struggle, they strain, yet the more they chase, the further it seems to slip away. This is because they are out of alignment. They believe abundance is outside of them, withheld, scarce, or difficult. Their words reflect their fear, and their imagination paints pictures of lack. The law simply mirrors their misalignment, and they reap frustration. Yet the moment they release the struggle, turn inward, and align with the truth that abundance is already theirs, the chase ends and the flow begins. Alignment is effortless once understood. It requires no force, no manipulation, no pleading. It requires surrender. Surrender to the truth that supply is infinite, and that one is already connected to it by divine right. This surrender does not mean passivity but trust. It is the quiet confidence that the stream will carry the boat, that the sun will rise, that the seed will grow. In alignment, one takes inspired action, guided and supported by the flow, rather than frantic action driven by fear. And because the action arises from alignment, it bears fruit with ease. When alignment is true, even small words have great power. A simple, "thank you," can unlock a fortune. A simple, "I receive," can open channels long blocked. The power lies not in the complexity of the phrase, but in the harmony between word, thought, and feeling. Alignment means that no part of the self is at war with another. The mind believes, the heart trusts, the lips declare, and the imagination envisions. All currents move in the same direction, and abundance flows without obstruction. It is often through alignment that miracles appear, though they are not miracles at all, but natural results of law. To the unknowing, it may seem astonishing that 3 words could bring sudden wealth, unexpected opportunity, or instant healing. To the aligned, it is simple truth. They know that the universe holds nothing back, and that as soon as consciousness aligns with the flow, the form appears. What others call luck, coincidence, or miracle, they call law. Alignment has unlocked what was always waiting. Abundance is not created by alignment, it is revealed. The treasure house is already full, the channels already prepared, the supply already present. Alignment is the key that opens the door, not to bring something new, but to see what has been there all along. The one who lives in alignment walks in a world of constant provision, where each need is met before it is spoken, where each step is guided, where each day brings evidence of the infinite. Their peace is not shaken by appearances, for they know appearances bend to alignment. Their joy is not dependent on circumstances, for they know circumstances reflect their inner state. You do not need more time. You do not need to wait another year, another season, another lesson, another sign. You do not need more money, more degrees, or more effort. What you need, what you have always needed, is a word. A single, aligned, spiritually charged sentence, spoken with divine conviction. One sentence that does not beg or explain or hope, but commands. One sentence that rewires the vibration of your entire life and calls forth what was already prepared for you in the invisible. One sentence that shifts your inner world so completely that the outer must bow in 24 hours. The world will tell you change takes time, that you must crawl toward healing, that progress is measured in years. But I tell you by spiritual law, transformation is not on a calendar, it is on a word. The moment you speak with faith, the moment you declare your divine identity, the moment you cancel the old rhythm and replace it with truth, law moves. Spirit begins rearranging. The demonstration starts. Not in a week, not in a year, but now. And what has tarried will appear, because the word has gone forth, and it shall not return void. The opening of creation was not a plan. It was not a process. It was not a strategy. It was a sentence. Let there be light, and there was light. No debate, no delay, no discussion, just a holy sentence, charged with creative power, spoken into the void. And that same law is yours. That same breath has been given to you. That same authority waits on your command. You were never meant to wander. You were meant to speak. You have tried everything else. You've journaled. You've waited. You've worked. You've worried. But you have not yet spoken this one sentence. The sentence that cancels delay. The sentence that breaks the spell. The sentence that reroutes time, reclaims direction, and returns you to the rhythm of God's perfect plan. And I say to you with sacred urgency, until you speak the word, nothing moves. But once you do, everything shifts. Not in concept, but in form. Not in theory, but in substance. Spirit is not moved by emotion. Spirit is not moved by longing. Spirit is moved by truth, declared with faith, spoken with boldness, released without fear. So stay close, because before this message ends, you will have that sentence. You will know how to speak it, when to speak it, and what to expect when you do. This is not a suggestion. This is not a philosophy. This is law. And when the law is activated by your word, your life begins again, within 24 hours. Let us begin. Most people do not live lives. They live loops, spirals of waiting, patterns of delay. They walk the same circle of lack and call it reality. They touch the edge of breakthrough, only to fall back into fear. Not because they are weak, not because they are cursed, but because they have never been taught to speak. They react, they wish, they analyze, but they do not decree. And without a decree, the law remains inactive. Without the word, the demonstration remains unborn. Without a sentence, your good stays sealed in the invisible. I have seen lives frozen in time, not by external enemies, but by internal silence. Not by lack of opportunity, but by lack of spiritual command. These are people with vision, with ideas, with heart, but no rhythm in their word, no command in their mouth, no sacred sentence upon which the law can operate. So they drift, they repeat. They become spiritual bystanders in a world that was meant to be spoken into shape. Let me be clear. Spirit will never override your silence. God will never impose order where your word has not invited it. The law is perfect, but it is not forceful. It waits on your participation. It waits on your vibration. It waits on your voice. Until then, your reality defaults to the patterns of fear, culture, memory, and inherited limitation. Not because that is truth, but because that is the only rhythm available. Imagine a ship out at sea, engine running, sails raised, but no direction given, no port declared, no coordinates set. That ship is not broken. It is simply leaderless. And most lives are lived exactly like this, drifting, not by accident, but by absence of speech. You are not meant to drift. You are meant to direct. You are not meant to guess. You are meant to govern. But to govern, you must speak. You must say aloud, daily, faithfully, rhythmically, the words that tell the universe where to go. You must give spirit something to work with, a blueprint, a command, a sentence that slices through confusion and establishes truth. Until you speak with authority, your life cannot rise in power. Until you declare the law, your timeline cannot reorder. Until you give voice to divine instruction, heaven cannot deliver what is already yours. You are not waiting on Spirit. Spirit is waiting on you. So I ask you, what have you spoken today? What sentence has governed your last 24 hours? Have you declared your direction? Or have you merely described your delays? Have you prophesied, or have you complained? Have you activated law, or have you surrendered to appearance? If you are stuck, the answer is not more trying. The answer is not more thinking. The answer is a sentence. And once spoken, the drift ends. The turnaround begins. And the law, which never fails, begins its holy work. Every delay, every derailment, every so-called detour has one thing in common. It was never greater than the law. The law is not concerned with how far you've gone in the wrong direction. It is only concerned with the moment you speak the right word. Because the law of the turnaround does not operate on logic. It operates on alignment. The very second you align your vibration with divine truth, the turnaround begins. The law doesn't require explanation. It doesn't ask how long you've been stuck. It responds instantly to the command of faith. There are those who believe change must be gradual, that transformation must follow a long path of repentance or restitution. But spiritual law does not need time. It needs permission, and permission is given through the word. The moment you say, "I am now aligned with divine good," the law does not hesitate. It moves, it corrects, it reroutes. It makes all things new, not someday, but now. Let me tell you a true story. A woman came to me in despair. Her finances were gone, her relationships in ruins. She said, "I've tried everything." But I told her she had not yet spoken everything. I gave her one sentence, a sentence anchored in law, a sentence spoken not in panic, but in rhythm. She spoke it aloud, 3 times in the morning, 3 at night. She did not beg, she did not explain. She declared. And within 24 hours, she received a phone call that reversed her situation entirely. A debt was forgiven, a check released, a new opportunity delivered. And she asked, how could it happen so fast? Because the law does not move by speed. It moves by alignment. The moment she aligned with truth, without fear, without doubt, without contradiction, the law of the turnaround activated, not because she earned it, not because she fixed everything, but because she finally spoke the language of heaven. This law is ancient, it is spiritual, it is biblical, and it is available to you now. In Isaiah 30:21, it is written, "And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it." That word is not just from heaven, it must also come from your own mouth. You must say, "This is the way," and begin walking by the sound of your own divine command. So hear me clearly. Your turnaround is one sentence away. Not because the sentence is magical, but because it carries the vibration of truth. It activates law. It ends confusion. It realigns your life with what was already written. The law of the turnaround does not delay. It does not need process. It needs a word. And once the word is spoken, what once took years now takes hours. Because the moment your vibration shifts, everything else must obey. Now I give you the sentence. This is not poetry. This is not positive thinking. This is not a motivational phrase. This is spiritual technology, a divine key. When spoken in faith, without apology, it overrides fear, cancels delay, breaks the rhythm of resistance, and activates your demonstration within 24 hours. The sentence is short, but the law it activates is eternal. Say it slowly. Say it with reverence. Say it aloud. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Again. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. This sentence carries 3 laws in one breath. First, the law of assumption. I now step into. You are no longer hoping, trying, chasing, waiting. You are stepping into. You are moving in faith. You are entering what already exists. Heaven responds to movement, not hesitation. Second, the law of divine timing. The life that has already been prepared for me. This is not a life you build. This is a life that has already been constructed in the Spirit. Every desire, every vision, every divine idea was placed in your heart because it already exists in the invisible. You are not creating it, you are claiming it. Third, the law of accelerated demonstration. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. You are not demanding. You are not controlling. You are commanding in rhythm with divine order. 24 hours is not a test. It is an affirmation that law is instantaneous when fully aligned. The visible may shift immediately or begin its movement the moment you speak, but the spiritual turnaround is always now. Let me give you its scriptural root. Isaiah 65:24. Before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. This means heaven does not wait to respond. It responds in advance to the vibration of aligned speech. Before you even finish the sentence, Spirit has already begun. And when you speak this sentence, speak it not from fear, not from pressure, but from authority. Speak it not as a question, but as law, because it is law, a law that never fails, a law that governs supply, direction, healing, success, a law that cannot delay when spoken by one who knows they are backed by divine right. Say it again, boldly, with power. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. This is your sentence. It is your key. And once spoken in faith, the gate swings open. Because the law, once activated, moves faster than thought and deeper than fear, and it will not return void. Here it is. The sentence most people never speak. The sentence most souls hunger for but never dare to declare. The sentence that cuts through confusion, erases wasted years, silences fear, and overrides every false rhythm you've inherited from the world. It is not complicated. It is not hidden. It is not reserved for the spiritual elite. It is a key, and I now place it in your hands. But you must use it. You must speak it. Not softly, not questioningly, but with command, conviction, and rhythm. Here is the sentence. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Say it aloud. Let the syllables pass your lips like lightning. Let the vibration move through your body. Let heaven hear you with clarity. Again, I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Why does this sentence work? Because it speaks to 3 laws in one rhythm. The first is the law of assumption. You are no longer waiting, wishing, or wandering. You are stepping in. You do not ask if it is possible. You step in as though it already is, because in spirit it is. In the invisible, the door is already open. The life already exists. It is not coming. It is waiting. And when you step, it rushes forward to meet you. The second law is the law of divine timing. The life that has already been prepared for me. It is not being built. It is done, complete, finished. The moment you desired it, heaven designed it. The vision was not random. It was recognition. You saw what was already yours, and now you speak it into form. God does not make you guess. He prepares and positions, and your word gives you access. And the third law, the one that shakes the illusion of delay, is the law of accelerated demonstration. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Not because you're rushing, not because you're demanding, but because law does not need time. It needs alignment. And 24 hours is not a test of God. It is a test of your willingness to speak as one who knows. Your world can rewire in an hour, in a breath, in a blink, when the word is true. Scripture confirms it. Isaiah 65:24. Before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. Before the sentence is finished, heaven has heard it. Spirit does not lag. Law does not stall. Law acts the moment your vibration aligns with its design. So say it now. Say it with power. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. You are not hoping. You are not begging. You are commanding. This is not a fantasy. It is your divine right. Spirit has waited for this moment. The unseen has waited for your word. Now speak it. Often, faithfully, rhythmically, and prepare to see a rearrangement so swift it will humble your mind and glorify your God. Because once the sentence is spoken, the law begins. A sentence is not a spell. It is not something you whisper one time and hope the universe hears you. It is a command, and a command must be given with rhythm, with reverence, and with repetition. You are not casting wishes into the air. You are constructing reality with the substance of sound. You must speak the sentence as one who rules, not one who pleads, as one who knows, not one who doubts. Your tone matters. Your posture matters. Your expectation matters, because spirit responds not to words alone, but to the vibration behind them. When should you speak it? Speak it first thing in the morning, before the world can argue with your truth. Speak it again at midday, when momentum threatens to fade. Speak it once more before sleep, when the veil between seen and unseen thins. And speak it in moments of action. Before you send the message, make the decision, step into the room. Let it be your spiritual password, your energetic permission slip, your internal ignition. Let every act of your day be preceded by the decree. And how should you say it? Not fast, not flat. Say it with rhythm, with breath, with pause, with power. Imagine you are standing before the gates of your own kingdom, and your voice is the key. Imagine your future is already standing behind the curtain, waiting on a single word to be summoned. Then speak. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Let every syllable carry command. Let no part of you contradict it. Do not rush it. Do not analyze it. Speak it as law. Say it until it imprints your cells, until your nervous system no longer reacts to appearances, but to truth. Say it until the voice of doubt dissolves. Say it until your environment changes. Because it will. It must. The law cannot return void. And what must you not do? Do not speak it once, and then speak fear the rest of the day. Do not declare it in the morning and cancel it with complaint by noon. Do not plant this seed and then dig it up with worry. Guard your mouth like a temple. Let nothing come from your lips that weakens your word. Remember, the sentence is not magic. It is law. It works not because you are worthy, but because it is aligned. It works not because you try hard, but because you speak truth. And truth, when spoken boldly, reorders everything in your favor. So speak it again, now. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. This is how you move mountains. This is how you shift timelines. This is how you become the governor of your own demonstration. Not through hoping, not through waiting, but through the bold, faithful rhythm of your word. And the moment you speak like this consistently, the universe responds. Not in confusion, but in perfect, ordered manifestation. Many ask, is it really possible? Can one sentence change my life in 24 hours? And I answer with holy certainty, yes, if it is spoken in the vibration of divine law. Because spiritual transformation is not gradual, it is not a slow burn. It is instantaneous in the unseen and visible in the seen as fast as your belief will permit it. There is no time in spirit. What you think takes months in matter takes only moments in truth. The speed is not about the sentence. It is about the certainty. Let me explain what I call the spiritual physics of manifestation. Spirit is substance, word is vibration, and vibration is the pattern that matter must obey. When you speak from spiritual alignment, your words send a command into the invisible, a pattern that pulls every particle of reality into new form. This is not mysticism, it is law. Law is perfect. Law is exact. Law is obedient. Jesus spoke in Matthew 8:13, "As thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee." And his servant was healed in the same hour. Not tomorrow, not next week, the same hour. Why? Because the belief matched the word and the word activated law. This is what most miss. They speak the right phrase but in the wrong rhythm. They mouth the truth but think in fear. They repeat words without embodiment. But the moment you truly believe and speak as one who governs, the healing comes. The supply appears. The shift begins. You do not need 40 days. You do not need more suffering. You do not need to beg God to do what has already been done. You need only to speak as one who already possesses. Because you do. What you seek is not far off. It is here, hovering, surrounding you in the invisible, waiting to take form the moment you give it structure through your sentence. Think of your words as architectural blueprints. Your sentence is the design. Spirit is the builder. The moment the design is clear and aligned, the building begins. And I tell you this, God builds fast. There is no backlog in heaven, no delay in divine supply. The only delay is your own hesitation to speak. And why 24 hours? Not as a deadline, not as a test, but as a sacred rhythm of expectation. One full cycle of surrender. One rotation of the sun to practice unwavering command. One container in which your word must live, breathe, and grow. If you can hold your declaration for 24 hours without contradicting it, doubting it, or weakening it, you will see the first evidence of change. A shift in the air, a sign in your inbox, a message, a release, a movement, because the law responds instantly to spiritual integrity. Say this now. Time does not delay me. Spirit does not stall. What I speak in truth appears in form within 24 hours by divine law. And so it is. Your mind is not your master. It is your servant. And yet, for most people, the servant has become the king. Thoughts of fear, regret, and repetition run wild because the mind has never been trained by the word. But today, the pattern breaks. Today, you begin to reprogram the rhythm of your entire mental atmosphere with a single sentence spoken with divine authority. You do not need to wrestle with every thought. You do not need to fix every memory. You need only to plant one new seed so strong, so rhythmic, so filled with spiritual voltage that it overrides everything that came before it. That seed is this sentence. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. The moment this becomes your mental baseline, your subconscious must shift. Your nervous system must obey. Your energy must match. This sentence does not just declare what is coming, it replaces what was. It clears the fog of old timelines, cancels the emotional residue of delay, and tells your entire being, we no longer live in fear, we live in law. Now hear me. Most minds are trained by trauma, by culture, by logic, by memory. Yours must be trained by truth. And truth is not passive. It is spoken. It is repetitive. It is rhythmic. Speak the sentence as a mantra, as a melody, as a metronome. Every time an old thought rises, replace it. Every time fear flares, override it. Every time you feel behind, declare you've just arrived. The mind does not argue with conviction. It bows to rhythm. It bends to repetition. Here is how you reprogram. Before sleep, speak the sentence aloud. Let it be the last vibration your body hears. Upon waking, speak it again. Let it go ahead of you into the day. In moments of doubt, speak it slowly, 3 times, breathing with each word. Write it. Repeat it. Sing it if you must. But never let it die in silence. You are not merely convincing yourself. You are constructing a new mental track, a spiritual groove. And once it is deep enough, it becomes automatic. The old beliefs cannot survive in the presence of spoken law. The new sentence becomes your internal software. And once the system changes, your experience must follow. Say it now, not as a lesson, but as a reprogramming tool. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Do you feel the shift? That is not imagination. That is reality responding. Because the mind, once dominated by the word, becomes the womb of your demonstration. You are not your past thoughts. You are not your old programming. You are the speaker of truth, and today your inner world begins again. And so it is. The universe does not respond to your need. It responds to your word. Divine law does not act on confusion. It acts on clarity. Heaven does not move when you panic. It moves when you command. And the moment you speak your word as law, as settled, as unquestionable truth, the entire architecture of the unseen begins to shift. The particles rearrange, the doors unlock, the paths clear, because the voice of spiritual authority has been heard. Now hear me clearly. The command that makes the universe move is not loud. It is not desperate. It is aligned. It is the sound of someone who knows, not someone who begs, not someone who waits, not someone who wonders if it's too late, but someone who understands the covenant they walk in, the law that backs them, and the power of the sentence they speak. So I give you a sacred challenge, not for entertainment, not for curiosity, but for divine demonstration. For the next 3 days, yes, 3 days, speak this sentence 4 times daily. Once upon waking, once at midday, once before sunset, once at midnight. Each time, speak as a commander speaks to the sea. Speak as one who parts clouds with a breath. Speak as one who has nothing to prove, but everything to claim. Here is the sentence, and this time you will say it as law. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Do not change the wording. Do not add your fear to it. Do not ask how. The law does not require how. The law requires alignment. And what will happen? You will feel resistance rise. You will feel the mind question. But stay faithful to the rhythm. Because the moment you pass through the veil of doubt, a shift will begin. You will notice synchronicities. You will receive a message. You will sense peace. You will feel the weight of delay lift. And then, within 24 hours, a sign, a blessing, a movement will appear. Why? Because you spoke it, you commanded it, you anchored it, and law cannot return void. Say this now as your first command of the day. I command my life into divine order. I speak with authority. I expect the demonstration now. This is not about ego. This is not about magic. This is about spiritual maturity. You are not here to hope. You are here to govern. You are not here to suffer. You are here to speak. The universe does not favor the strong. It favors the speaker of aligned truth. So speak. Speak often. Speak with fire. And know that each time you do, the invisible bends, the path unfolds, the supply moves, because you finally took your place as one who governs through the word. And so it is. Now we seal the word in rhythm. We do not reason. We do not analyze. We affirm. These declarations are not decorations. They are spiritual charges, lightning bolts sent into the unseen. Each one is a strike against delay. Each one is a vibration that rearranges your timeline. Do not whisper them. Declare them. Let every syllable become law as it leaves your mouth. Speak these aloud with breath, with boldness, with rhythm. I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. I am not late. I am aligned. My supply is present and rushing into form. The old is gone. The demonstration begins. Spirit moves at the speed of my faith. I am not waiting. I am receiving. I command with love, and law responds in power. Again, I step in. It is prepared. It appears now. You are not speaking to convince anyone. You are speaking to activate the blueprint. You are not asking for help. You are triggering law. These words are not tools. They are templates. Spoken into the atmosphere, they build the form that your demonstration will follow. Now speak this closing seal. Say it slowly. Say it 3 times. Say it with everything in you. I speak. I align, I receive. I speak, I align, I receive. I speak, I align, I receive. Let this rhythm be your reality. Let this sentence be your new foundation. And remember, each time you speak, something is sent, something is stirred, something is summoned. And so it is. Now that you have spoken, keep speaking. Now that you have remembered, stay in rhythm. You have not reached the end of a video. You have crossed into a new way of being. You have received a sentence, not just to recite, but to live by. And if you truly walk in it, if you speak it with dominion, you will begin to see signs, evidence, shifts, surprises, all within 24 hours, not because you forced them, but because you finally aligned. I invite you now, not to perform, not to prove, but to declare. Write the sentence in the comments, not for engagement, not for show, but as an act of spiritual activation. Let your sentence echo into the digital field, and let your comment become your contract with divine law. Type, I now step into the life that has already been prepared for me. It appears within 24 hours by divine law. Come back to it later. Witness the alignment. Witness the comments that shift your faith. Return tomorrow and testify. Your word is not just an idea. It is a spiritual agreement. Subscribe, not for more content, but to remain in the current. Let this channel be your reminder. Let this voice anchor you when you drift. Let this rhythm reset you when the world distracts you. You are not a seeker anymore. You are a speaker. You are a governor. You are one who walks by law. And now that you've spoken, watch what unfolds. Not by chance, not by effort, but by the unbreakable law that what you speak in faith must appear in form. It is done, and so it is.